Kansas City in a Division II National Football Championship makes a stop in Athens, West Virginia, where the weather is the early story. Heavy rain in the forecast all game. Just 8 Division II football teams still playing. It's the national quarterfinal round. 12-0 Concord hosting 11-1 Bloomsburg in the Super Region 1 championship game. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. I'm Phil Shaner alongside A.J. Good, and this is a classic matchup of a high-powered offense against a shutdown defense. A.J. will start with the defense. Bloomsburg, 41 takeaways, leads the nation in that category, and they also like to get after the quarterback. 33 quarterback sacks this year, 8 of them last week in their win over Virginia State, and it's all led by Justin Shirk, the top player in the Super 1 as far as defense is concerned.
He's big, he's strong, he's physical, very fast, reads offenses very well, and he's one of those guys that gets there, as Vince Lombardi says, and gets there in a very angry mood, and he has a third of this team sacks with 11.
And Concord is all about offense, one of the best offenses in the region. Their third best scoring offense in the country at 46 points a game. Their quarterback, Brian Novak, over 3,300 yards, 34 touchdown passes, but he's not the conference offensive player. The conference offensive player is the Mountain Lions running back.
Calvin All-Jones, 10 games, over 100 yards for Concord this season. Very good in between the tackles, even better outside the tackles, has deceptive speed, very hard for defensive backs to bring down.
It is going to be a wet one. The winner moves on to the national semifinals and takes a step closer to Kansas City and a national football championship. The Super 1 region title is on the line. Concord and Bloomsburg. It's coming up next on the Sports Fever Television Network.
Whether you want to compete as an athlete or cheer from the stands, Concord has a place for you. If you're a veteran ready to use your GI benefits, Concord ranked number 3 in the nation for veterans by Military Times Edge magazine. If you started a degree but didn't finish, you may get credit for work, life, or military experience through our Regents Bachelor of Arts program. If you're looking for a quality school with quality programs, check us out at concord.edu. Our alumni take great pride in their Concord University degree. Here's why. On average, 25% of our graduates go to prestigious graduate schools like Johns Hopkins, Duke, and Columbia University. Our graduates hold high-level positions with employers like Nike, Microsoft, the Pentagon, Disney, and Amazon. Others are teachers, accountants, and social workers, and more start their own businesses. Concord's career-focused liberal arts education allows you to pursue various career options, not just a single job. Check us out at concord.edu.
Number 14, Bloomsburg against number 10, Concord at Callahan Stadium in Athens, West Virginia. Region 1 championship matchup. It's Concord's offense against the Bloomsburg defense. The Huskies' defense ranks first in the PSAC, 5th. Division II scoring, only allowing 14 points per game. You see the captains at the middle of the field. A lot of storylines here. This is the only 1-2 seeded matchup in the 4 regional finals that will be played in the quarterfinals this weekend in Division II playoffs. And they both had first-round byes. Bloomsburg beat Virginia State at home 35-14, knocking out the CIAA champs last week. And Concord hosted its first-ever NCAA playoff game, reached 616 yards of total offense in that shootout win over Westchester, 51-36. No rain right now. Temperature at 54 degrees. Rain was a major concern. We expected to have some heavy rain in here in the morning and be raining right now, but that's not the case. But we understand the rain could be coming. Playoff history for Bloomsburg, their 11th appearance in the NCAA Division II playoffs. Last week broke a 3-game losing skid in the playoffs, and their first playoff win since 2010. 5th time in school history they're here in the national quarterfinals. First time since 2008. Bloom 3-1 in the national quarterfinal games. Last quarterfinal win was in 2006. Concord 1-8 in playoffs. This year's Concord team, though, has set a school record with 12 wins. Last 11-win season was in 1980. And we are underway, and Bloomsburg starts the game off with an onside kick. And let's see if the Huskies have recovered it. That was something they worked on last week and didn't use it against Virginia State. And it looks like the white jersey has it, and the Huskies start the game with an onside kick and recover the football. That's some way to start the game. The Huskies talked about that, their coaching staff, last week about using an onside kick, and that's how they started off. Take a look at the play right here. AJ, is the Huskies come out with a statement right here.
Very gutsy call. I like it. You know, why not? You play to win the game out here. This is a great way to go. Want to get your offense on the field, establish how to play, and not let Concord get out and score first.
So how about that? Way to start the playoffs in the quarterfinals with an onside kick. And the Huskies have the football in Concord's 47-yard line. They love to run the football. Mateo is their top back. 24 touchdowns rushing this season. He's in the backfield, but Kelly likes to roll. Rolls out and finds his wide receiver wide open, Sean Quinn. Quinn's 13th catch of the season. Sean Quinn with a catch for 22 yards last week, and that moves the chains. One thing you're going to notice about Kelly, he likes to roll out.
He does a great job right there on the run, finding his wide open tight end. You know, this team doesn't throw the ball a lot. Their best receiver only has 28 catches, but staying very aggressive, really attacking Concord right now.
That was Quinn's, as I mentioned before, 13th catch of the season. So they move the chains and have the ball in Concord territory at the 40-yard line with a 1st and 10. The Huskies, again, open it with an onside kick. Mateo gets the carry off to the right side, and Mateo picks up 4 yards on that first down carry.
Good start right there by the offensive line. Great push there on the right side, Concord. If they want to win this game, they're going to have to force 3rd and longs and really force Bloomsburg to throw the ball not off of play action.
Bloomsburg is averaging 34 points a game, 390 yards of total offense. Tim Kelly ran for 3 touchdowns, their quarterback, last week in the playoff win over Virginia State. Eddie Mateo, all Super Region 1 second teamer in that backfield. He's in front of his fullback. 2nd and 7, they gave Mateo 3 yards. Give it to Mateo again, running behind his big offensive line. This time goes nowhere. Great job by Concord and their defensive line to stop Mateo for no gain.
Linebacker Irvin Moore not fooled by that cutback by Mateo whatsoever. Great wrap up and brings him right down to the ground.
Again, last week, Concord was in a shootout with Westchester. A lot of offense between those two teams. Incredible, both in the 400-yard category as far as offenses were concerned, in the shootout between Westchester out of the PSAC and Concord. So a 3rd and 6 now for the Huskies. Kelly works from the shotgun. Needs to get to the 30-yard for a 1st down. Kelly will roll. Looking downfield, throws it and incomplete. Looking for DJ McFadden, the team's top wide receiver with 28 catches, was unable to connect with him. So coming up on a 4th down now for the Huskies.
That's a great job right there by the Concord defense, forcing pressure, making Kelly throw an errant pass right there. That's not Bloomsburg's game. If they want to get in 3rd downs, they want to get in 3rd and short situations. But a good job there by the Concord defense to step up to get a stop right there on 3rd down.
So you open the game with an onside kick, and now you have a 4th and 6. Well, why not go for it? Making a statement early on. That's how they opened the game, the Huskies, with that onside kick. And now they'll go for it on 4th down, 4th and 6 for the Huskies in Concord territory. Kelly will pitch the ball. It's down on the turf. It will go as an incomplete pass. So not a very successful play at all, and a great job by Concord's defense to come up with a big stop there on a 4th down. That gives the Mountain Lions a little bit of momentum.
Good play there by Silas Ajame, reading the pitch right there. Good story about Ajame. He didn't start playing football till he was 15 years old. He's from Ghana. He didn't even know what the game was until he came over to America.
And I believe that he is in royalty, right? His family is in royalty in Ghana, and what a story he's playing here at Concord in Athens, West Virginia. Let's take a look at the offensive starters for Concord. Their high-powered offense scoring 45 points a game. Ryan Novak over 3,300 yards, a single-season record with 34 touchdowns, all-conference starter. As they give the ball off there, the Mountain Lions have the Mountain East Conference Offensive Player of the Year in the backfield, Kavanaugh Jones. He's rushed for at least 100 yards in 11 of 12 games this season. The offensive line has all 4 conference players. Let's take a look at the Bloomsburg defense. Only gives up 14 points per game. They lead the nation with 41 takeaways. And first-teamer Dave McFadden is on that defensive line, 6'5", 245. He's huge, clogs everything up for the linebackers, and Justin Shirk is one of the top linebackers in the country. The secondary is very good as well. Meanwhile, Concord is moving along, gets a 1st down into Bloomsburg territory. Again, this is a Concord offense that likes to work fast, and Kavanaugh Jones with the handoff and the big run for the 1st down for the Mountain Lions. So a 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. They give it to Kavanaugh again, and he stopped in the backfield and lost a yard on that play.
Shawn Mitchell breaking that up. Great penetration there from his defensive line spot right there to really kind of break up Concord's rhythm. They got a good rhythm going right now. Bloomsburg's going to have to force them out of it.
Concord's offense is incredible. Again, averaging 46 points a game. They were in an unbelievable shootout. Westchester is the one common opponent between these two teams. Bloom forced 6 turnovers and beat the Golden Rams on their home field back on October 25th, 41-10. Kavanaugh Jones there again Gets up to the line of scrimmage and just gains 1, so a third down coming up for Concord.
This really doesn't fit in the Concord's game plan either. They're only 36% on the season from third down, actually one of the worst in the country, which you really wouldn't suspect for a team as high-powered offensively as they are.
A little better defensive side. The defense does a good job, Concord's defense, of getting teams off the field, but they only have a big third down and 11 here from the 47-yard line in Bloomsburg territory. We're just underway. Quarterfinal action, Super Region 1 championship game. Novak to pass and has Petty. Petty has the first down, and he moves the chains with a 14-yard pickup. Petty comes up and makes just his 6th catch of the season. And again, we see Novak there get his first opportunity. A.J. felt pretty comfortable in the pocket, saw the pressure coming, but got it off pretty quick.
Great read. They have man defense down the field, just running vertical routes, and finds Petty for the quick pass.
Petty to pick up a 14 and a first down. And they throw the football again, this time with a completion to Douse, his 22nd catch of the season. And again, that's the offense. The little play action there was able to suck up the linebackers a little bit to get that passing game going. They're short of the first down. It'll bring up a 2nd and 5 from the 27. So the Huskies with the onside kick, then unable to do anything offensively. Concord made a big defensive stop, and now they're driving offensively. The handoff to Petty right here on the right side, trying to get the first down. Battles his way. Good second effort, but I think might still be a yard and a half short of the first down.
This is playing right in the Concord's game. 3rd and short situations. They're playing power football. They want to prove that they're very physical and most importantly, protect the football, because this is right in the zone where Bloomsburg likes to force those nation-high turnovers.
41 turnovers on the year, leads the nation. Incredible. 22 interceptions, 19 fumbles. It's something that they are very good at. 3rd and 1, big 3rd and 1 here. Play action. Novak to throw it out of the backfield. And they got a first down and much more. The completion made. A big completion caught up out of the backfield. Shawn Mitchell, he's 2nd team all-conference. Fullback coming out of the backfield. Nice design play, and that's something that Coach talked a little bit about, is getting those short passes on this Bloomsburg defense. So a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line now in the red zone for Concord. Novak to throw the football in the end zone, and Concord is on the board first with the touchdown. Impressive drive. Ryan Stewart with his 12th touchdown catch of the season, and an 8-yard touchdown play. Novak to Stewart, and Concord strikes first.
Very good play action. They fake the zone read right there, wide open to Stewart. Stewart has under 30 catches, and that's his 12th touchdown pass. So they use him not necessarily sparingly, but they use him in the right ways to get him in the open space.
Novak with another touchdown, 35 now on the season. And that was Stewart's just 27th catch of the season. So the kick after, Andy Ellington. And here's a special team play by Bloomsburg. And an opportunity for the Huskies. Jarrett Pope with the football. Looks to return it all the way. And this is taking a page out of Concord. They had 10 block kicks and returned 4 of them this year. And the Huskies get it done as Garrett Pope is in the other way for a touchdown. We knew special teams was going to be a key. It looked like maybe Concord had the advantage of that because they won the last couple of games with special teams plays. But the Huskies come up, and Garrett Pope takes it the distance to return it for the Huskies.
Just a high snap there. Can't be handled by the holder, and a great job by Pope. Pope even had to break a tackle there to get it into the end zone, but kind of a momentum shift. You never know what these things can do, and like you said, we thought special teams, Concord had the advantage, but right there, Bloomsburg getting some points early on.
So the return for 2, and take a look at it right here. Here comes the pressure, AJ. The high snap really did it in.
Right there.
And then Pope picks it up and returns it for 2 points. So right now with 9:34 to go in the first quarter of the NCAA quarterfinals, Concord 6, Bloomsburg 2 on the Sports Fever Television Network.
I chose Concord because it's an affordable education. It's close to home.
There's just something about it that I felt like I needed to be here.
If someone's not ready for college, it might make them feel more welcome than a larger university might.
I love that everybody's so friendly. I can get to know my teachers. My teachers get to know me.
The academics are really challenging, and I find that to be really rewarding in the long run, to actually know that I'm learning more here than I did at my previous school.
I Start your career today at Concord University.
9-play, 64-yard drive took off 3:28 in the clock, and Concord strikes first. Brian Novak to Ryan Stewart for the 8-yard touchdown, but then the Huskies on the high snap for the point after were able to return it. Garrett Pope returns it for 2. That's where we're at, 6-2. We know that both these teams can score some points. A lot of points scored by the third highest scoring team in the country in Concord at 45 points. Bloomsburg averages 34 points a game. But Bloomsburg with a statement from the beginning with the onside kick, but wasn't able to do anything offensively, and Concord answered the bell and was able to come up with a nice 9-play, 64-yard drive. So Concord will kick it away to Bloomsburg. The Huskies play out of the PSAC. Concord out of the middle Mountain East Conference, just the second year of that conference. And a high kick this time. The Huskies will try to get a return on the kick. Elliott up to the 30-yard line. And that's where Bloomsburg will take over offensively, their second opportunity offensively. And their wideouts are young. DJ McFadden leads the way with 28 catches this season. Last week, he had a 58-yard touchdown catch, the longest pass play of the season against Virginia State. John Garland, by the way, the offensive lineman, not in the starting lineup Thursday after practice. Appendix situation, so he is not making the trip, and he had to be replaced. The first time the offensive line wasn't all together this season. Mateo gets the carry for the Huskies. Picks up 5 yards on that carry. Bring up a 2nd and 5. Again, kind of a grounded pound attack, AJ, as you see the Bloomsburg offense. There's that offensive line that we talked about. Garland, the sophomore with the appendix emergency Thursday, not in the starting lineup today.
They definitely needed him. Having that continuity up front is very important for a team that likes to run the ball like they do.
Yeah, the offensive line, always a tradition for Bloomsburg, always a solid offensive line, allows them to run the football. Mateo right up the middle behind his center. He's still on his feet. He's not down yet. Mateo bounces off of one tackle and fights his way and extends the play for maybe a half of yard. Good contained, though, by Concord because it looked like Mateo was down. Let's meet the Mountain Lions defense. Defense, 31 sacks in the season. The defensive line is led by all-conference first-teamer Will Greathouse, 45 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss. Team-high 3 block kicks this season. Watch out for Nick Ortiz, leads the team in tackles with 76 and sacks with 6. Very good secondary. Mike Carey, best shutdown corner of the conference, 4 interceptions this season. Mike Carey's made some very special plays on special teams this year as well. Big 3rd and 6 for the Huskies from the 34-yard line. Trailing 6-2, just underway in the NCAA quarterfinals. Kelly finds time to throw the football. He's incredible rolling out. His target receiver was Lawrence Elliott at the sideline and was incomplete. Good coverage by Concord. Their secondary is very good, AJ.
22 interceptions on the season. That's 5th best in the country. This defense, we talk a lot about Bloomsburg's defense, but Concord's is just as good. They can force turnovers, as you see right there. They're very good at pressuring the quarterback, and they play a lot of man defense, which is very hard for a quarterback to throw against.
So Bloomsburg will punt the football away. The 4th and 6 from the 34-yard line. Will Wagner, the punter for Bloom. Give the ball back to Concord, who went on a 9-play drive to score their first opportunity with the football. Let's see some good coverage by the Bloomsburg Husky coverage team for the punt. So good job there to bring down Albert Rose for a 1-yard gain on the kick, and they'll take the ball over from the 25-yard line.
Great tackle by Donovan Rouse right there. Unbelievable. Nice one-on-one. It's hard to tackle one-on-one, especially when you're running downfield like that, but gets enough of them to bring him down, and Concord's going to have to go 75 yards for a score.
Concord likes to work quick. Garen Justice, their head coach, 34-11, his 4th season. He really rised up through the coaching ranks. Played at West Virginia, was on that 2005 team that was 11-1, a Sugar Bowl win. A pass complete here for a big first down, and still on his feet is Tico Henderson. Henderson bounced off a tackle and picked up 25 yards on the catch and pass from Novak to Tico Henderson. Tico, that's his 11th catch of the season. Take a look here with that play action. The fake to Jones kind of set that play up.
And they're bringing up those linebackers, trying to get pressure because they're trying to face the run at the same time, but Concord just using the play action very well.
So a big pickup there, and this time Kavanaugh Jones, the offensive player of the year in the conference, gets the football and picks up 5, maybe 6 yards in the first down carry.
And here comes this rhythm. They want to get in the rhythm. That's a great play right there on first down. They got about 6 yards on it. This is playing right in the Concord's game. Bloomsburg is going to have to do whatever they can to slow these guys down.
Kind of amazing. Novak with 3,300 yards passing, but they also have a great running attack. They throw it a little more average as far as yards is concerned, but they're pretty much balanced, this offensive attack, and they'll keep it on the ground and run the football here to the opposite side. So Kavanaugh Jones again, but a good job by the Bloomsburg defense, and DJ Robinson coming up there to make the stop for the Huskies after a short gain, and the 3rd and 1 is coming up for the Concord offense.
Concord struggles on 3rd down a little bit, but this is right into their game plan. They want to get out there, play some power, and try to get this short yardage situation.
You mentioned it before, just 36% this season on 3rd downs. This is a big play also for the Bloomsburg defense. Kind of a wild game so far with the onside kick to start it, and then the blocked extra point that went for 2 for the Huskies. That's why we're at a 6-2 score. Here comes the blitz for the Huskies. They give it off to the fullback, Ben Nestor. Nestor's 40th carry of the season. Tries to fight his way for the first down, and we'll have to wait on the spot.
Saying he's just a bit short. Good play there by the Bloomsburg defense. Right there, Justin Shirk, all-region defensive player in the year, making a great tackle, getting off that block, and Concord has a big decision to make right here.
Justin Shirk has just been outstanding this season. 109 tackles, 11 sacks. Big 4th and 1 here for Concord. The offense on, trying to go for the first down. Go with a bigger set. They give it to Nestor. He's the man to get that yard that they need. Nestor picks up 4 yards and moves the chains on a big 4th down conversion by Concord.
Good push by the offensive line. Great run there by the senior Nestor from just right down the road here at Pikeview High School, lowering his shoulder and running over a couple Huskies.
They were 50% on 4th down conversions this year, and that was a big one for them there. So now a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line, and one of the Huskies might have jumped, or was he drawn across? The flag comes out. Our officiating crew out of the South Atlantic Conference, and we'll wait for the call. Larry Adcock, our official referee today, so we'll see what Larry and his crew figure out from the South Atlantic Conference, today's officials.
Looks like defensive lineman jumped off sides there. They're trying to time up this rhythm of Concord, but looks like it's going the other way.
Prior to the snap, false start, 55 on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, they got a false start on Concord. Take a look if you can see it right there. It was after the play. But Concord is a team that has a little problem with penalties. 111 penalties for over 1,000 yards this year. So that's something that Coach Justice certainly is concerned with. And one of the things that Coach Justice has done is he's done a great job here, named the Mountain East Conference Coach of the Year for the 2nd time in 4 years. And same thing on the Bloomsburg side. Paul Dara back-to-back PSAC East Coaches of the Year honors, leading the Huskies to the PSAC East title and the NCAA Division playoffs for the 2nd year as taking over as the head coach for a long time, 18 seasons. Coach Dara was with Danny Hale. Short pass there, gets him back to the original line of scrimmage. Making the catch, Ryan Stewart, his 27th catch of the season. Stewart with 11 touchdowns. That gets him up to the original line of scrimmage. So bring up now a 2nd and 9 for Concord.
They're really working that play action a lot. Some quick, short routes right there, trying to get into the hands of their playmaker, Stewart. Stewart, again, with only under 30 catches on the year, but as head coach Garen Justice says, he's only actually been brought down about 5 times.
Yeah, when those linebackers are so good for Bloomsburg, you got to do something to get them to step up if you want to pass the ball down. Novak to throw the football and has a completion and a first down for Concord. Nice completion there. Again, a lot of weapons to throw to, and Dowse with the big catch. Now a 1st and 10, the 20-yard line. Cabrera comes up on the stop to make sure he gets out of bounds. But he's a dangerous receiver. A lot of dangerous speed on this Concord team.
And it's hard for Bloomsburg. If they want to play man defense, they're going to have to live with some of these one-on-one situations against their linebackers with Dowse.
Dowse is one of those guys that's really tough on special teams as well. Kavanaugh Jones gets it this time, tries to go up right under center, but he was brought down. Good play there by Tony David, who had a big game last week for Bloomsburg, to stop Jones in his tracks.
That's what they're going to have to do. Is you see Concord a little bit slow getting their substitutions in, now kind of slowing down the rhythm a little bit. And right here's where Bloomsburg gets really tough, really dangerous. They've only allowed 28 red zone attempts now counting into this game so far this season.
Yeah, this is their bend and don't break, especially in the red zone. So Concord with a 2nd and 9 from Bloomsburg's 19-yard lines. 2 wideouts to the right and the left. And they'll give it off to Jamal Petty. Petty with some running room. Picks up 5 yards. 5-yard pickup for Petty. Yeah, Concord, the key, as you mentioned it before, AJ, is getting in that rhythm. Especially when a team that likes to score as many points as they do, they want to get in that rhythm offensively, both running the football and passing.
This is where Bloomsburg can prove they're one of the best in the country right now. They only give up 29% on 3rd down conversions. That's 10th best in the nation. This is a big 3rd down right here, especially after what happened on that field goal, on that extra point attempt for the Mountain Lions.
So a 3rd and 5 from the 15. Concord trying to add to their 6-2 lead. Novak to pass, and there's a flag down. Has a completion down inside the 5-yard line. Catch was made there by T.J. Smith. His 49th catch of the season, but we'll wait on the flag that came down right at the line of scrimmage.
Looks like we got a offsides here, and also they ruled that pass incomplete there on Smith.
The pass was ruled incomplete. We have offsides. 82 on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So Concord fans weren't happy with the incompletion called on the catch. We'll take a look at it right here and see what happened with Novak, if that pass was complete or not, and we'll see if we can pick up the penalty as well. There you see the offsides, clear offsides, and then pass play.
Yep, he didn't have full control. You can see the ball move once it hits the ground there, so that's a good call by the officials.
So the 10th play of the drive coming up for Concord with a 3rd and 1 now. Novak to hand it off to Kavanaugh Jones, trying to fight his way for that yard. His offensive lineman, there's 4 all-conference players on that offensive line for Concord. They feel that they gave him enough of a push to get that 1st down.
Looks like he got it there, and they might get aided here by another offsides penalty. Bloomsburg's really thrown off here by Concord's rhythm.
We'll wait on the official.
Offsides, defense, number 52. It's a 5-yard penalty. The results of the penalty, 1st down.
So that's back-to-back penalties on Bloomsburg. I don't know if it's a matter of a cadence situation with the Novak's call, or if they're just trying to maybe time that count, but twice now, 2 penalties on the Daniel Spangler called for the penalty that time. And now a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line from Concord, putting together another impressive drive. Play number 10 coming up here. Novak to throw it in the end zone, in and out of the hands. It would have been a touchdown for Ryan Stewart, but Stewart couldn't hold on to it.
That was the same exact play they scored on their first drive, except Stewart this time was on the right slot, not the left slot, and you have to make that catch. Maybe a little bit high, but that hit him right in the hands. You got to make that play.
Ryan Stewart had the first touchdown of the game, his 12th of the season, to put Concord up 6-0, and then the point after was blocked and returned by Bloomsburg for their 2 points. There you take a look at Ryan Stewart, the junior wide receiver from Charlotte, North Carolina. So a 2nd and goal from the 5. Novak from the shotgun. Hands it off to the right side, and one of those power running games, which is a nice compliment that they have. That's Ben Nestor. He's their power guy, 5'10", 215 pounds, from Gardner, West Virginia. Played at Pikeview High School. They need a couple of tough yards. They're giving it to number 10, Brian Nestor.
But right there, a great play there by Justin Shirk. He's really starting to prove why he's the all-region defensive player of the year. Totally read that play from the get-go and brought down Nestor for only a yard gain.
Yeah, Ben Nestor there on the sideline. sits out this play. So a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. See what Concord can come up with here. Novak looks to throw, gets some pressure, throws it to the back of the end zone. There was some contact there. Looking for T.J. Smith was the intended receiver. Some contact in the end zone, but no flag comes down.
Ball was a little bit high, overthrown. He wouldn't have had a play on it regardless of all the grabbing going on that play. But good stop there by Bloomsburg. And how important is that drop catch? I've heard a lot of offensive coordinators over the course of time talk about how drop catches can totally ruin an offense.
So Andy Ellington, who's been outstanding kicking this year, he has a 52-yarder, 17 of 23 this year. This will be a short kick for Ellington, who's been outstanding this season. One of the top kickers in this conference. Of course, they had the point after blocked, and this kick is up, and the kick is good. So Concord answers with a field goal. Concord has a 9-2 lead with 1:23 to go in the first quarter of the NCAA quarterfinals on the Sports Fever television network. Bloomsburg University associate's degree in the next level. Enroll at Bloomsburg University Bachelor of Applied Sciences and Technical Leadership to learn to organize, operate in leadership roles in project teams, work groups, and departments. Coming to Center City, Philadelphia. Log on to bloom.edu for more information. So a 9-13 play, 71-yard drive ends with a Andy Ellington field goal from 22 yards, which was good. And 9-2 lead for Concord. Only 8 teams still remain in Division II college football. It's the quarterfinal rounds, the regional finals. Again, this is the only 1-2 matchup in the regional finals. There have been a lot of upsets in the NCAA Division II tournament so far. Bloomsburg will have another opportunity. And the Huskies with a good return by Finley up to the 25-yard line. That's where the offense will get another opportunity. Kelly so far 1 for 4 for 13 yards. Eddie Mateo with 4 carries for 8 yards. Concord's defense has done a nice job on this Bloomsburg University offense. There you see Finley who had the return. See what the Huskies can do here and try to answer the field goal by Concord. 1st and 10 for the 26-yard line. Play action, and Kelly loves to roll the football. He can also throw it. He had 3 rushing touchdowns last week, and the intended target was incomplete. He was looking for DJ McFadden, their leading receiver, but it was thrown at his feet. Kelly again, AJ, you're going to see Kelly likes to roll either to the right and the left, and this time rolling out, but wasn't able to complete the pass, and that rolled out well short to McFadden.
Really needed to set his feet right there. Maybe take a shot there from Austin Dotson. It might be worth it to complete the pass, but Bloomsburg all out of sorts right now. They thought that onside kick was really going to kind of energize them, but that really hasn't been the case so far.
There's 1:13 to go in the first quarter in Bloomsburg. They answer down 9-2, trying to get some offensive rhythm going for themselves, and what they need to do is start running the football, and that's what they're doing here with Mateo.
Great job right there. Great push there on the left side of the offensive line. Mateo fighting for some good yards, puts them right in their game plan, some 3rd and short situations.
Offense, the run-first approach, the ground and pound. Huskies have had at least 30 rushing attempts in 60 straight games dating back to 2009. That tells you they love to run the football. Eddie Mateo remains 3rd in the nation in rushing touchdowns with 24. Huskies have tallied over 200 yards rushing 8 times this year, trying to establish the running game against Concord, but here comes their D on a 3rd and 3. Concord, Mountain Lions want to come up with a big stop here. Kelly changes the play out of the shotgun. Has some time to throw the football and complete for a 1st down to the 46-yard line. Big pass play there. A big completion to DJ McFadden.
The officials missed a blatant hold right there. Sean Sokola getting the back there of Anthony Pyle, grabbing him, horse collaring him, but the official just didn't see it right there, and Bloomsburg's going to move the chains here.
DJ McFadden, a transfer student from Orange Coast College, and he's done a great job for the Huskies, their leading wide receiver. Again, not a lot of catches, but Bloomsburg again, as we mentioned and highlighted, as a running team. So a 1st and 10 is the final play of the first quarter. The run to Mateo on the right side. Mateo is stopped immediately. Great job by the Concord defense. That front line taking control. And there's Coach Dara on the sideline, and that's the final play of the first quarter. We're through one quarter with Concord with a 9-2 lead. The first quarter of the NCAA quarterfinals on the Sports Fever television network.
It's only against the law if you get caught. It's only against the law if you get caught. It's only against the law if you get caught.
Want to compete as an athlete or cheer from the stands? Concord has a place for you. If you're a veteran ready to use your GI benefits, Concord ranked number 3 in the nation for veterans by Military Times Edge magazine. If you started a degree but didn't finish, you may get credit for work, life, or military experience through our Regents Bachelor of Arts program. If you're looking for a quality school with quality programs, check us out at concord.edu. Our alumni take great pride in their Concord University degree. Here's why. On average, 25% of our graduates go to prestigious graduate schools like Johns Hopkins, Duke, and Columbia University. Our graduates hold high-level positions with employers like Nike, Microsoft, the Pentagon, Disney, and Amazon. Others are teachers, accountants, and social workers, and more start their own businesses. Concord's career-focused liberal arts education allows you to pursue various career options, not just a single job. Check us out at concord.edu.
And we're back for second quarter action. Bloomsburg trailing 9-2. Concord with the high-powered offense, but their defense at times this year has played very well. Some of the scores that you look at, they get in some of those shootouts like they were last week against Westchester, a 51-36 game. But Coach says their defense has played well, and they were one of the top defenses in the country last season. 2nd and 10 for the Huskies from the 47-yard line. Kelly will give it off to Elliott. Elliott trying to bounce outside and able to just get a yard. Great job by Concord's defense to extend that and not give him the edge. Good stop there. Derek Johnson was in on the play, and a good job by the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, they were 3rd in the nation last year in total defense. It's a little different this year because their offense is scoring so many points and doing it in 3 or 4 play drives. So defense has been on the field a whole lot more. But Derek Johnson, he leads the team in interceptions, but right there, a great tackle in the open field, something that you need to do when you have a running back that bounces outside like that.
Concord with 130 yards in the first quarter. Bloomsburg with just 42 yards in the first quarter. And that's why they find themselves down 9-2. 3rd and 9 for the Huskies. Kelly, it's time to throw now. Here comes the pressure. Has to step up in the pocket and throws the ball incomplete. Looking for Aaron Allison, the big tight end at 6'3", 247. He thought he was interfered with, but not the case. An incomplete pass, and Bloomsburg's going to have to punt the ball back to Concord.
They've had 3 third and long situations and haven't completed a pass yet off of it. Good pressure here by Concord, forcing Taylor to get outside and throw from his left to right. Might have been some interference there. Looks like he was all over him right there, but kind of tough to tell from that angle.
Yeah, Bloomsburg now 1 of 4 on 3rd downs. About 40% for the season on 3rd downs, and that's something that Concord does a very good job defensively in getting teams off the field. They're very tough in getting 3 and outs and getting the ball back to their high-powered offense. Will Wagner will punt the football away. Some pressure. Will Wagner nearly got one block last week, and this time. Now here comes Concord's very dangerous special teams. What a block downfield to spring it. Going all the way to the house for the touchdown. Dowse to the house for 6.
What a great job. Unbelievable blocks. Dowse doing a good job getting that field. His 2nd return touchdown of the season. This team is so dangerous in so many ways. And Concord really sticking it to the Huskies right now. Almost blocked this kick right there, too.
Yeah, Will Wagner was slow getting it off. You saw Jesse Osborne, big number 77, walking off the field slow. Watch the blocking here, and Dowse with that speed. That block right there.
Josh Williams, what an unbelievable. Yep. That's a decleater right there.
Josh Williams sent him flying, and then there goes Dowse to the house for his 2nd special team punt return for a score this season. And Concord offensively, they can score many ways. Special teams is a big part of the way they've played the last couple of weeks and all season long. Ellington with the point after. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Concord with a 15-2. 16-2 lead as we're 13:52 to go in the second quarter on the Sports Fever Television Network.
Whether you want to compete as an athlete or cheer from the stands, Concord has a place for you. If you're a veteran ready to use your GI benefits, Concord ranked number 3 in the nation for veterans by Military Times Edge magazine. If you started a degree but didn't finish, you may get credit for work, life, or military experience through our Regents Bachelor of Arts program. If you're looking for a quality school with quality programs, check us out at concord.edu. Our alumni take great pride in their Concord University degree. Here's why. On average, 25% of our graduates go to prestigious graduate schools like Johns Hopkins, Duke, and Columbia University. Our graduates hold high-level positions with employers like Nike, Microsoft, the Pentagon, Disney, and Amazon. Others are teachers, accountants, and social workers, and more start their own businesses. Concord's career-focused liberal arts education allows you to pursue various career options, not just a single job. Check us out at concord.edu.
Concord University offering more than 80 majors, minors, and programs. To find out more, go to concord.edu. And the Concord fans are very happy with the way things are going right now for their football team, up 16-2. Jamel Dowse, an 81-yard punt return for the score. The special teams have played roles all season long. 10 block kicks this year by the special teams for Concord. Had a couple of special team touchdowns. This is Dowse's second punt return for a score. AJ, special teams have been just that, special for Concord this season.
6 returns for touchdowns, 3 off of blocked field goals in 3 consecutive games. They had that mishap early on after that touchdown, but ever since, man, this team is just absolutely rolling on all sides of the ball.
Lawrence Elliott will get it from the 2-yard line for the Huskies as they need to bounce back and respond, and the football is on the turf. And let's see if Concord came up with it.
Looks like they did. Looks like we saw a bunch of maroon jerseys pop right on top of that ball.
Lawrence Elliott had it and then lost the football on the turf, and the refs are trying to figure out who has the football, and it's Concord with the turnover. So the Huskies turn the ball over. And now Concord will have an opportunity to make Bloomsburg pay for that kind of mistake.
And we thought Concord had the edge in special teams, and we talked about Bloomsburg plus 30 on the year coming into it, and Concord was plus 9, now plus 10 right after that play.
Take a look what happened here. You see that, was he down before he lost that football? He kind of went airborne, did Lawrence Elliott, and then came down on it. The ball came free. So now a 1st and 10 from the 25 for Concord, trying to add to their 16-2 lead. Kavanaugh Jones. There's the conference offensive player of the year, looking like the conference offensive player of the year, running through. And Justin Shirk was down there getting involved with one of the defensive linemen, but a good run by Kavanaugh Jones.
Great start. Look what they're doing. 8-yard gain there on 1st down, getting right back on the ball. This game is completely in Concord's favor right now.
2nd and 2 from the 17. Fake to Jones, and the pass complete. Dowse with the catch. Dowse, who had the 81-yard punt return moments ago, with a big catch there. Gets it down to the 10-yard line. Just seems that Bloomsburg's out of rhythm. Playing on the road. They came down last night. They had a flat tire on the bus before they left. They got down here a little late. We're in Athens, West Virginia, the home of Concord. The first time they ever hosted a NCAA playoff game. There's the crowd. That was last week. They had the shootout win over Westchester. Bloomsburg had to make the trip down here, about 3 hours from Morgantown, about 4.5 hours from Pittsburgh. Jones with a handoff, and he's brought down at the 10-yard line, maybe a gain of 1.
This is just not Bloomsburg's type of game. They will like a slow ball control type of game. They don't play very well against these up-tempo offenses, and it's certainly showing, because they've only given up 26 red zone attempts coming into the game, and they've given up 3 to Concord on their first 3 possessions.
Thomas Cabrera on that last tackle for Bloomsburg. He's a all-conference first-teamer defensively. 2nd and 9 from the 9. And the give in the end zone, down to the 1 yard line, not in, and there's a flag down. They're going to give him the touchdown. Shawn Workinger with the touchdown, the fullback. But there is a flag down. We'll have to wait for that and see what happened there. And Workinger's not happy as he must be coming back.
Eligible receiver downfield. Number 8 was covered up. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Ineligible receiver downfield on Concord. So Workinger, he can take that touchdown away from the fullback. The penalty was called on Concord, which will move them back.
This is where Concord has struggled in the red zone. Only 73% on scoring chances. And, you know, they've averaged 9 penalties per game, 152nd in the nation. And this is where they really struggle with it, is in the red zone. They get a little too aggressive there and just could not find their way and have to give up another touchdown off an easy play.
And there's Coach Justice, 34-11. Head coach here at Concord, 4th season. Novak to throw, rolls to his right, and he's going to keep it. And he's down inside the 10-yard line before he was dragged out of bounds. Good coverage there by the Bloomsburg secondary. He had no one to throw the football to. We talked about the rain being a story, and now the rain's coming down. We thought it would be downpours throughout the morning and raining heavy at kickoff. That wasn't the case, but now some steady rain is setting in here in Athens, West Virginia.
And it's good that Concord has gotten out to the lead that they have with the offense that they play with, trying to take shots down the field. And now with the rain coming, this game might play right into their hands.
Novak rushed it for 6 yards last time. Here comes the 5th play of the drive from a 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. A penalty marker is in the air, and Novak is going to the end zone for a touchdown. The ball was incomplete and knocked down. Great coverage by the Bloomsburg secondary to knock that ball away. Gary Postel was in on that. But there is a penalty marker down. We'll have to wait to see what the flag is all about. In the South Atlantic Conference officials.
Offsides. Number 92 on the defense. We'll go half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
So a penalty on Bloomsburg's defense.
Very uncharacteristic for these guys. They only average 5 per game coming into it. That's 21st best in the country. And they already have 3 all off offsides already in this first half.
Yeah, a team that doesn't, only 69 penalties on the season coming in, and then 3 offsides already in this game. And they had 2 back-to-back offsides earlier. 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Trying to fight their way into the end zone down to the 1-yard line. Kavanaugh Jones. Kavanaugh Jones, over 1,500 yards coming in with 10 touchdowns. Last week he had 25 carries for 178 yards and had that 87-yard touchdown as well in the win over Westchester. They're going to go to their kicking game again. Here's timeout on the field. Concord takes a timeout, and we'll step aside as well. Concord going to try to add 3 more to their total. Right now up 16-2 in the NCAA Quarterfinals of the Sports Fever Television Network. Concord changed their mind. They're going to go for it instead of kicking the field goal. And in the end zone for the touchdown, that is Kavanaugh Jones with his 11th touchdown run of the season. And Kavanaugh Jones in for the score. So Coach Justice said, no, we're not going to try the field goal. Our team has struggled in the red zone. Let's try to put this game away, going for the touchdown on that 4th down.
And going there off the right side, Josh Cottle, Paul Smith opening up that hole there for Kavanaugh Jones to power through. Gutsy call, but a smart call there by Garen Justice.
So the point after by Ellington after the Jones touchdown on the 4th down. Again, a trouble with the snap, but they get it down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. So Concord continues to score here with 11:04 to go in the 2nd quarter. Concord is in control over Bloom.
Some more trouble there on the snap. Now you can understand why that they hit for it right there. Very good start.
Things are going great for the home Concord Mountain Lions. The umbrellas are out. The rain has now started. And right now the offense is pouring it on for Concord, one of the top offenses in the country, up 23-2. 6-play, 25-yard drive and 2:41 capped off by Jones's 1-yard run after the fumble on the kickoff by Bloomsburg. So they cashed in on that fumble miscue by the Huskies. And Elliott Jr. will get out of bounds, and the Bloomsburg offense will be back on the field with a lot of work to do, down 23-2 with 10:59 to go here in the second quarter.
Now, Garen Justice talked in his press conference this week about wanting to take Bloomsburg out of their game, speed them up, make them do things offensively they wouldn't normally do. They've already thrown the ball several times, Bloomsburg has, in this game. Has only converted once on 3rd down, and has not done well at all in this weather right now.
Yeah, Bloomsburg is not a team that is built to come back. They're a team that likes to get out on you with a lead and then have long drives running the football. The flag is down. Mateo with the handoff. Mateo picks up 7 yards on the carry, but we'll have to wait on the flag.
Holding. Offense. Number 63. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So another penalty on Bloomsburg. Ryan Geiger, first team all-conference player, offensive lineman, caught for holding. So they'll move the Huskies back.
Already the 4th penalty on Bloomsburg already. 3 offsides, 1 holding. This is probably a game that they never saw themselves playing right now at this point in this game.
There you saw a brief shot of Coach Dara in the rain, and it's something that really upset coaches, especially this time of the year when there's only 8 teams still playing in Division II college football, and you're making those kind of mistakes, turning the football over, and then the penalties, 4 of them today. Kelly nearly drops the football in the center exchange and quickly throws the football out and gets the completion to Connor Gatis. Gatis didn't have a catch last week. That's his 21st catch of the season. Kelly, I don't know how he held on to that. Take a look at it. You didn't see it there, but on the rollout, he had a hard time getting that ball from the center exchange. That's going to be a factor. They talked about that last night in the NCAA meeting about they'll be using 12 balls. Each team will provide 12 balls. They're expecting this rain and this wet weather, and they'll try to get a dry football out there the best they can. So a 2nd and 17 after that penalty two plays ago. Play action. Kelly to throw. Fires the football looking for Trent Daniels was the intended target. Good coverage by Concord, and the ball was thrown over his head.
Concord right now is pinning their ears back. They're getting after Kelly. Man-to-man coverage, actually bracketed the receiver on that play right now. And this, see it right here. Good pass rush. Kelly couldn't set his feet and overthrew him by a good 5 yards.
Yep. And Derek Johnson was right there on the coverage, and the ball was well over his head. So a 3rd and 17 for Bloomsburg. This is not the down and distance that the Huskies like to be in. Concord shows a little bit of pressure coming from the right side. They back off it, and Kelly will run. 3 rushing touchdowns last week. Tries to run his way across the 30-yard line, but still well short of a first down. Designed run there the whole way, but he would have had to pick up 18 yards to get the first down.
Concord just dropped back into zone right there. Is going to make him fit that ball where he hasn't been throwing well all game. Only 3 completions so far, so Concord sat back in zone. Is going to force him to run any way you look at it.
So Bloomsburg will have to punt the football away. Last time they did this, Dowse went 81 yards for a Concord touchdown on the return. Kelly, as you mentioned, is 3 of 9 for 30 yards today. Will Wagner will punt. Here comes some heavy pressures. They try to block it. The punt gets off, and Dowse picks it up. The 34-yard line and still on his feet. Dowse tries to break free, but he's brought down. The stop was made by Garrett Pope, bringing him down after Dowse went 81 yards for a touchdown the last time he had an opportunity. He's a dangerous player. It's one of those guys that you like to have on your special teams, and Coach Justice knows he has, this year he has more skill, more speed on his offense, and is able to definitely, as he mentioned, talking to him yesterday, different kind of offensive team than he had last year compared to this year. And I mean, they're putting up a crazy amount of points, one of the 3rd most points average a game in the nation. Kavanaugh Jones with a handoff. The right side doesn't get much. Tomas comes up and makes the stop from Hanover area. Hanover Township, Pennsylvania. See what happens with Kavanaugh trying to get these extra yards.
tries whatever he can with just nothing to go. He actually got back to the line of scrimmage, was actually a miracle there. Actually picked up a yard with some plays and reading off his blocks, or what left of the blocks he had.
It was able to pick up 2 yards, a 2nd and 8. Play action for Novak. Novak gets some pressure, has to get rid of the football, and it is incomplete.
Very dangerous throw there by Novak and Bloomsburg. Very aggressive. They can get interceptions. They can get fumbles. And here's Concord again in a 3rd and long situation. They completed the one they tried earlier in the game. Let's see if they can come up with another one.
He was looking for McGill. Some pretty good coverage by the Huskies. Tomas Cabrera coming up to knock that one away. Cabrera originally went to Temple. He transferred to Bloomsburg from Temple University. All-conference first teamer. 3rd and 8 now from the 42-yard line for Concord with a 23-2 lead over Bloomsburg. In the rain in Athens. And the rain plays a role, slipping out of the hands of the quarterback, Novak. And he was just smart enough to fall on that football. As you can see, the wet football, he just slips right out of his hand.
And you can tell where the weather is really having a factor, which is probably why Concord wanted to get the ball on the ground, start running with Calvin Jones. And how lucky right there is Shawn Mitchell. Probably the easiest sack he's going to ever have in his career.
Yeah, Bloomsburg with 34 sacks now on the season. Shawn Mitchell gets an easy one. So Garrett Lee will punt it away for Concord with a 4th and 23. Lawrence Elliott is back for the Huskies. Lee can kick it. Nice kick there, and bounces down and rolls out of bounds at the 27-yard line. That's where Bloomsburg will take over offensively with 7:49 to go, trailing 23-2.
Be very important if Bloomsburg can put together a good drive right here, go right down the field, get some points. They need some sort of momentum going into the halftime. There's under 8 minutes left here to go in the first half, but they need something. They need to get Mateo going. They need to try to keep the ball out of Kelly's hands. He's not throwing it well at all today, so they need some sort of momentum and kind of punch back here, because they're taking a lot of punches from Concord right now.
You saw the coaches. There's Coach Justice. Before that, you saw Coach Dara, the fastest Husky coach to reach 20 victories. Doing it in just 22 games. 1st and 10 from the 27 for Concord. Kavanaugh Jones is not in the backfield, and they mix it up a little bit with Devon Milgill. I'm sorry, yeah, well, Bloomsburg obviously with the football, and Deshaun Munger with the handoff, I should say. Sorry about that.
Good job by Irvin Moore collapsing the hole right now and taking out Munger for a nice tackle. This Concord team does a very good job tackling in those one-on-one situations.
Yeah, there's Munger getting an opportunity. Munger, 156 carry this season, has 3 touchdowns, so giving Mateo a little relief. Kelly will roll out this time to throw the football. Kelly goes deep, looking deep, and has the completion to Chad Hoffman. And a big pass play. Hoffman has really come on the last 4 games. From Hazleton, Pennsylvania, was a quarterback in high school. A huge completion down there. Down to the 19-yard line in Concord territory.
That's exactly what they needed. Needed to get this off play action. Very good protection by this very good Bloomsburg offensive line with 4 all-conference members. And look at that. That man-to-man defense finally bit Concord right there. Great completion. That's the best ball Kelly has thrown so far today.
53-yard pickup. Kelly to Hoffman. And Bloomsburg's now in business with a 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Trying to get back in this game down 23-2. Mateo's back in there. Munger relieved him for a little bit, but Mateo, the leading rusher, gets the carry and gets a good 1st down run for the Huskies.
Like we said, they needed to get a good drive going on here, get some momentum. Good run there by Mateo, and even more impressive there, Nick Ortiz fighting off that block and bringing down Mateo one-on-one.
Bloomsburg and Concord with the same, pretty close to the same color schemes. Last week, Bloomsburg they went with their 3rd alternative uniforms against Virginia State. They were in the all gray, and of course today with their road whites and gray pants and the maroon look for Concord, all maroon from head to toe. Give to Mateo, runs up through his big offensive line, and then the second effort. That's what Mateo is all about, the senior who actually left college last year, worked for T-Mobile, decided to come on back. He's an excellent job and really worked his way up on the Bloomsburg all-time rushing list. And boy, Bloomsburg's had a lot of great running backs, including last year's Harlan Hill winner, in Franklin Ncaa for the top Division II player in the game. And there's Mateo. Good shot at him. Getting a drink off the sideline. His team needs to get into the end zone, down 23-2, trying to get back into this football game. The rain has stopped now, which is good for both teams. Kelly under center. Looks like he may be changing the play. And there's a timeout. So there's too much time, and Coach Dare, I think, got a little
timeout. Bloomsburg.
And wanted to call a timeout.
That is
so the
first
Huskies will take a
timeout.
We'll break as well with 5:31 to go before the half. Concord 23, Bloomsburg 2 on the Sports Fever Television Network. And the Concord cheerleaders are ready for the rain today, and their team up 23-2, but Bloomsburg is knocking on the door. Bloomsburg, their fourth play of the drive. They've gone 68 yards. The big play was Tim Kelly to Chad Hoffman, 53 yards. Down to the 18-yard line, which set up now first and goal from the 5 for the Huskies. Bloomsburg knows they need to get in the end zone. That's why Coach Dara called a timeout and talked to Kelly. Get his team in the end zone and get back into this football game. Trip to the national semifinals is on the line. Kelly under center. Kelly will give it to Mateo. Mateo runs to the right side. Not much there at all. Mountain Lion defense stepping up to make the play.
Austin Dotson there leading a host of Mountain Lions. They completely stuffed Mateo there at the line of scrimmage. He made the very first guy miss, but look at this. Everyone around there, about 6 hats all over Mateo on that play. Good team defense by the Mountain Lions.
It was a wall of maroon jerseys. There you see some of the big guys up front that caused all the trouble. Another opportunity here with a second and goal from the 4. Huskies knocking on the door. Play action to Mateo. Kelly to throw. And it's incomplete. There's a penalty marker down looking for the big tight end, Aaron Allison. He wanted pass interference, and a marker is now on the turf, and he may have gotten it. He wanted one last time they targeted him. And this time, they may have got a pass interference call on Concord. We'll wait for the official word from our head referee.
Pass interference. Defense, number 6. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. It's an automatic first down.
So Derek Johnson called with a pass interference call, and AJ, let's get a look at it here on the replay.
Play action. They're trying to get Kelly going to his left, and yeah, Derek Johnson is all over him, grabbing there on the back. The officials are going to call that every time, and they should. And he really didn't need to, because that was a horrible pass thrown there by Kelly.
So a first and goal from the 2-yard line for Bloomsburg. Huskies trying to punch it in for their first touchdown of the day. They blocked an extra point and returned it for 2. Up the middle, but no room there. A big offensive line against the big defensive line of Concord, and something has to give. And Concord's defensive line won the battle that time as Mateo couldn't get in.
Great job right there. They just stuffed up the Bloomsburg offensive line, getting Mateo there in the backfield. 10 guys in the box there for Concord. Only one on the outside, and Bloomsburg might go back to play action right here.
Second down and goal from the 2-yard line. Bloomsburg knows they need to get in and get 6. There's 4 minutes to go before the half. Quinn's the man in motion, and the pitch to Mateo. And he's in for the score. Bloomsburg's on the board with a little pitch sweep to Eddie Mateo. That's his 25th touchdown running of the season.
Great second effort there by Mateo. Looks like Will Greathouse gets him at about the 1-yard line, but that second effort, as you're going to see right here, gets him in there, and he just gets in. If he wasn't laying on the back of Greathouse, he might be ruled down right at the 1-yard line.
And there is Mateo, 7-play, 73-yard drive in just under 4 minutes for the Huskies, their first touchdown of the day. Drexler with the point after. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So the Huskies get on the board with a touchdown. Concord with the lead, 23-9. Closing in on halftime. We'll be back with the Sports Fever Television Network.
chose Concord because it's an affordable education. It's close to home.
There's just something about it that I felt like I needed to be here.
If someone's not ready for college, it might make them feel more welcome than a larger university might.
I love that everybody's so friendly. I can get to know my teachers get to know me.
The academics are really challenging, and I find that to be really rewarding in the long run, to actually know that I'm learning more here than I did at my previous school.
Start your career today at Concord University.
Concord University. To arrange a campus visit, call the Office of Admissions at 1-888-384-5249 for Concord University. Come visit the campus. So Bloomsburg, 7-play, 73-yard drive. Score on Concord, their first touchdown of the game. Trail 23-9. The NCAA quarterfinals. The winner of this game will advance to the national semifinals next week. You get the winner of Minnesota Duluth or Minnesota State. And Minnesota State has a 7-0 lead on Minnesota Duluth right now in that game. But Bloomsburg to kick it away from Concord. Concord very dangerous offensively with their special teams. And Tico Henderson with a nice return for Concord up to the 35-yard line. And this high-powered offense after that nice return by Henderson will get another opportunity.
They get about 3:44 here on the clock, more than enough time for this team to go down and find some sort of points and try to answer what Bloomsburg just did on that nice drive.
Brian Novak over 3,300 yards. Today he's 8 of 11 for 97 yards and a touchdown pass. Remember, he had that one touchdown pass dropped by Stewart. Had one caught for the first score, but then had another one where Stewart dropped in the end zone. Kavanaugh Jones gets the handoff and doesn't get much. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Great job there once again. There he is. There's Shirk on the great play there by the middle linebacker reading it, and some snap confusion there. Once again, Novak had trouble with it and on the handoff to Kavanaugh, but that probably wouldn't have mattered much. Shirk was all over that play for Bloomsburg.
Shirk this week named the Division II All-Super Region 1 Defensive Player of the Year. He was also named the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference he plays in, the PSAC, Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. 2nd and 10, no gain for more on that last carry. Novak out of the gun this time, has to leave the pocket, throw the football right at the sticks for a 10-yard pickup, and then the completion, the run for 5 more yards after the catch. Great job there by Dowse, who has the long punt return. A couple of catches for Dowse today as well. Gets right in the middle of the field, knew where he needed to be for the first down, and then gets 5 extra yards.
It makes a guy miss. I mean, these Concord receivers and these running backs know how to make guys miss in space. Another great example right there.
That play was good enough for 16 yards, and Dowse's 4th catch for 45 yards today. Novak throws the football, and it's incomplete. Looking for Ryan Stewart, and there's a flag down. Maybe pass interference. We'll have to wait and see.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 55, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So illegal player downfield on the Concord offense. That'll move them back.
Coleman Osborne was about 5 yards downfield on that play. That's the second time they've been called on that today. And the first one brought back a touchdown, but Concord would eventually convert on that drive. So Concord with some penalties, some small mistakes really might be biting them right here when they really need to gain some momentum going into halftime.
Coach Justice telling his big offensive line, yo, we want to block downfield, but let's not get called for the penalties. He was way downfield. And they get charged for the penalty there. So now a 1st and 15. Play action to Jones. Some heavy pressure by Bloomsburg's defense. And somehow Novak got the football off and the completion to Dowse again. Dowse's 5th catch of the afternoon. He's been very involved in the offense. And, of course, the big special team return for a touchdown for Concord as well.
Good job there by Novak, just standing in at the very last second, delivering the only way that Dowse can make a play on that ball. And Bloomsburg's doing a good job of taking out Concord's best receiver in T.J. Smith. They're bracketing him, making sure he's not getting easy catches down the field.
8 sacks last week for the Bloomsburg defense and 34 on the season, so they can get after the quarterback. Novak will run it this time with no one to throw the football to, and slides down, and there's a penalty marker down after Novak's run. We'll wait to find out what the call is.
Holding, number 61 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Coleman Osborne called for the holding call on the offensive lineman, all-conference first teamer. Let's see if we can see number 61 holding there on that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's got him right. He needs to let him go. He's good at the point of attack, but the moment that Novak gets parallel with him, he has to let him go because that guy wasn't going to make that play on Novak anyways.
There you take a look at big number 61. Coleman Osborne, 6'3", 265, the sophomore. Sports Fever Television Network halftime show. We'll hear from both coaches, also the Concord president and Concord sports information director, all coming up on the Sports Fever Television halftime show. 1:35 to go before halftime. Novak airs this one out. The wide receiver fell down. The ball is picked off and intercepted. So the Huskies come up. Toomey with the interception. The intended wide receiver fell down about 7 yards away from the football, and Toomey was right there to come up with a big interception for this team that loves the forced turnovers. That's now 42 forced turnovers by this team.
Good pressure there by Bloomsburg. Novak looking for TJ Smith, but they ran cover 2 right there. Smith got pushed out of bounds there in that contact zone, and there's Bloomsburg coming up with maybe some big momentum. They got that good drive to get a turnover here. They're in great field position. If they can work their 2-minute drill and get some more points, that's more momentum for them heading into halftime. Minute and a half should be more than enough time to find some points.
So now the defense ties the all-time record for forced turnovers in the season at Bloomsburg University. So with 1:28 to go, down 23-9. Kelly gets under center and goes to work. The Huskies could really use a score to get back in this game. Chad Hoffman with his second catch of the game. Good for 10 yards and will move the sticks for a first down at the 45-yard line.
Kelly is very good moving to his left, a whole lot better than what he is moving to his right. And Bloomsburg has a whole lot more confidence right now. And you can see it right there on that play.
First and 10 from the 45-yard line for the Huskies. Kelly rolls to his right this time and finds Hoffman again for the second straight catch for Hoffman, his third of the game, to midfield, a pickup of 5 yards. So this would be crucial with just 1:02 to go if Bloomsburg can get on the board here and get a little momentum. And the momentum was all Concord the first quarter and a half.
And now that they got things going, they got that drive, they get this turnover, and they tried to get momentum early, but couldn't do it right there.
And with 1:03 to go before the half, we have a timeout on the field. The Huskies trailing Concord, but have an opportunity to try to get on the board before the half. It's 23-9 on the Sports Fever Television Network. Umbrella would be a good thing to have for Bloomsburg fans that made the trip from Pennsylvania. With 1:03 to go, they find their team down 23-9. And 2nd and 5. Kelly fires and big completion for the Huskies for the first down. Lawrence Elliott with the catch. That was a big play there to keep the momentum going. Again, as far as getting momentum into the halftime, Bloomsburg knows how important it is to try to get some points on the board. Well run route by Lawrence Elliott.
And even better that he got out of bounds to stop the clock, so Bloomsburg doesn't have to go too much into a rush. Right here, they still have plenty of time to either get a field goal or to find a way into the end zone.
That was Elliott's 17th catch of the season. First and 10 from the 43-yard line. Bloomsburg now in Concord territory with under a minute to go before the half. And a draw play to Joe Parsnick, the sophomore. Doesn't get much there. Good job by the Concord defense to sniff that running play out.
Irvin Moore all over it today for the Mountain Lions. He has been sniffing out this run game by Bloomsburg all afternoon.
See the clock running. Under 30 seconds coming up here for Kelly. With a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Has time now, has to leave the pocket and just throws the ball out of bounds for the incompletion to stop the clock.
Wasn't a big fan of calling that run play at midfield, especially with the success that they have with those short passing plays and letting their receivers make plays in the open space. And that's really hurt them. They really don't have a good chance unless they throw a deep ball in here and throw a Hail Mary to get a touchdown to really get back into this thing. So right now they're playing for a field goal, and in this situation, the way Concord is running their offense, I don't know if that was a very good call.
Brandon Drexler, their field goal kicker, the longest kick of the season, was a 41-yarder this year. 14 of 21 on field goal attempts. 3rd and 10 from the 43 for the Huskies. Concord faithful here, despite the rain, cheering on their team. Kelly fires it and well over the head of their intended receiver, DJ McFadden, and incomplete. So a 4th down ahead for the Huskies with 17 seconds to go before the half.
Bloomsburg only sent about 3 guys out there in that route, and Concord sent back in cover 3. That play had no chance from the get-go because every receiver had at least 3 mountain lions around him.
Very impressed with Concord's defense. You knew about their offense and their ability to score, but their defense has really changed the game plan of the Huskies a little bit, jumping out and getting on in front of them, where this is a team that likes to run the football and play power football, and they're really now forced to throw the ball more than what they normally would like.
And Concord's defense is very underrated. You know, they're 3rd in the nation last year in total defense, and this year it's because of their offense that they've given up more yards.
And we'll take a timeout. Concord up 23-9 on the Sports Fever Television Network. 4th and 10, the Huskies will go for it with 17 seconds to go, trailing 23-9 before the Sports Fever Television Network halftime show. Kelly back to pass, has time to throw the football, and throws it. Intended target was Chad Hoffman, and incomplete. So Concord will take over on downs with just 11 seconds to go here in the first half. Concord, special teams touchdown, has taken advantage of some of the mistakes, a fumbled kickoff return by Bloomsburg. They turned that into points, and here you see Kelly trying to get something done. Looked like he had Huffman just for a second, but overthrew him.
Yeah, and that window closed very quickly. 3 mountain lions around there. Now you give them the ball right near midfield. Andy Ellington hit a 52-yarder. It's his career high, and he is 8 of 10 from 40 yards and beyond so far. So this might not have been a good decision there by Bloomsburg. They probably should have punted it at least out of bounds and not give Concord such great field position.
Coach Justice, a guy that likes to score points, averaging 46 points a game. So they're going to try to get more points here with the last few seconds before the half. And the pass is complete, but Novak and run out of bounds. There's a flag down as Dowse had the catch. We'll have to see what the call is. And again, Novak plenty of time to throw the football. Finds Dowse for the completion.
75 on the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
So holding called on Concord, but it'll move him back. And there's a shot at Coach Justice. Upset with his offensive lineman getting caught for a holding call there. Coach Justice played at West Virginia, was a captain on that 2005 team that won 11-1. Went to the Sugar Bowl victory.
He's worked for some good guys over the course of time, and coached by Rich Rodriguez, and also worked for Jimbo Fisher over at Florida State as a grad assistant for 2 years. So this guy's been around some of the best offensive minds in the country.
Absolutely. We'll hear from Coach Justice at the end of halftime. We'll hear from Coach Dara coming up shortly. Here in the next couple of minutes to get Coach Dara from Bloomsburg his impression on the first half. They'll keep it on the ground for Concord on the final play before the half. And Petty was just running that and runs it down and ends the first half of play. Concord runs off to the locker room with a 23-9 lead. We'll hear from Coach Paul Dara of Bloomsburg here in a second, down on the sidelines. Once Coach Dara makes his way over, get the impressions of the first half from Coach coming up here shortly on the Sports Fever Television Network halftime show. We'll also hear from Concord's president, Dr. Kendra Bogus, and Concord's Sports Information Director, Wes McKinney, all coming up on the Sports Fever Television Network halftime show as we wait on Coach Dara down on the sidelines to get a word from Coach. Again, Bloomsburg was kind of taken out of their game plan a little bit, the way Concord was able to take advantage of their mistakes, and in the special team, 81-yard punt return for the score was big. We'll hear from Coach Dara and get his impressions on the first half here in a second. Of course, his team started this game with an onside kick, which didn't really work out for his team as his offense was sputtered out. But we're getting ready for Coach Dara down on the sidelines. We'll hear from him in a second. So Bloomsburg trailing Concord 23-9. Coach Paul Darrell will join us at halftime here in a second. We'll get the words from Coach before he goes in to the locker room to dress his team. Coach Paul Darrell joins us, coach points. So Bloomsburg was fortunate to get that drive right before the end of the first half. The Eddie Mateo 2-yard touchdown run to make it 23-9. And that's where we are at the break. So Bloomsburg will try to build on that momentum of scoring last. They went down early 6-0 and then had a blocked point after. Garrett Pope returned to make it 6-2. And then Concord scored 3 straight times before Bloomsburg was able to answer. So the Huskies will try to get things going. That's Lawrence Elliott on the return. Dangerous return man. You give Elliott some room, he's going to beat you. And that was a good return there, and there's a penalty flag down. We'll have to wait and see what the call is. This is important, I think, for Bloomsburg coming out of the second half locker room to make sure that they get on task and get on the board to really get back into this game and put some pressure on Concord if they can go down and score.
They certainly need it. They just need any momentum and really kind of get this game in their favor and get ball control going their way.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 30 on Concord. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 53 on Bloomsburg. That is both their first unsportsmanlike conduct.
So Lawrence Elliott and Clary was called for the personal fouls. We'll see if we can see it here on the left side of the screen. The personal fouls called, one on Concord, one on Bloomsburg. So an offsetting penalty is a little bit of tempers flaring here at the start. There you see the pushing and shoving right there, and you see the flag come in to start the second half.
Some emotions get going, but you got to control them in a game like this. You know, your seasons are on the line. You want to advance to the next round. You have that ultimate goal of playing for a national championship. Just got to keep your emotions in check. You know, nothing's ever solved with a punch in the game of football.
Absolutely not. And of course, this Regional 1 championship, what's on the line here is a shot in the national semifinals. Trying to take a step closer to the national championship game in 2 weeks, December 20th. This year being played in Kansas City after being played in Alabama for a number of years. They switched venues, and in Kansas City will host the NCAA Division II National Championship the next couple of years. But after today, you still need 2 more wins to be crowned national champ, and a lot to take care of here in the second half as Bloomsburg will look to try to get back into this game, and Concord up 23-9, and we're underway in the second half with Mateo with the run to the right side. Has a huge hole and picks up 12 yards on a big run there and moves the chains. Eddie Mateo. In the first half, Mateo was trying to get as much done as possible. That was his 11th carry. Had 10 carries for 32 yards in the first half and had a big hole there to run through, AJ.
Huge. That offensive line, great push up front to start off that play. And Bloomsburg getting going a little bit hurry up here.
Kelly rolling out, has time to throw the football, goes downfield. It's underthrown and nearly intercepted. Looking for DJ McFadden down the field. Good coverage. There was double coverage there, and Kelly's pass was underthrown and nearly picked.
They tried that. They got that play earlier on their touchdown drive. This time they tried again and just underthrown, and he was double covered. So really, Kelly needed to run with this or just throw this out of bounds. This is a very dangerous pass thrown in the double coverage like that.
Kelly with only 6 interceptions on the season. Pretty good taking care of that football, but nearly had that one picked off. 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line for Bloomsburg. Give to Mateo. Up the middle. Mateo still on his feet. Great second effort. Didn't go down the original line of scrimmage. Stayed on his feet, fought through a tackle, and ended up picking up 4 yards.
Not the greatest push there by the offensive line, but Eddie Mateo doing what he does best, and that's get yards after contact, and picked up 4 and gave his offense a little bit more manageable here on 3rd down.
Eddie Mateo, the touchdown right before the end of the first half, is 25th. He's 3rd in the nation in touchdown rushes in Division II college football. Big 3rd and 6 now for Bloomsburg. Here comes some pressure. Kelly has to hurry the ball and nearly intercepted. He had to hurry up because the pressure was coming, and Jeremiah Johnson almost stepped in front of that ball and had an interception.
Not a smart pass there by Kelly, but again, he had 2 Mountain Lions on his heels, and that was Johnson's second opportunity for an interception in the last 3 plays. And if he would have caught that, he would have been to the house.
Look at the pressure coming by Daryl Johnson was the man leading the pressure. That's why Kelly had to get it off in a hurry, and it was nearly picked off. So Bloomsburg unable to get things going offensively to start the second half. They'll have to kick the ball away. Will Wagner will punt it away. And, of course, Dowse is back, has an 81-yard punt return for a score in the first half, is waiting back to receive the punt. Dowse will call for a fair catch, and Concord will start at the 21-yard line. Up 23-9. Last week, there's an injured player down on the field. Last week, a win over a PSAC team, Westchester. And there's a timeout with an injured player on the field. We'll step aside as well with 13:37 to go here in the third quarter. Just the start of the second half. Concord up 23-9. We'll be back after this on the Sports Fever Television Network. Ncaa, the injured player, walked off. He's on the trainer's table now for the Bloomsburg Huskies. He was the injured player on that punt. Take a look at what happened right here. Ball gets punted away by Will Wagner, and there you see the injury to Ncaa. Kavanaugh Jones with a carry. Good 6-yard pickup on a first down run for Kavanaugh Jones.
They've gotten a lot of success running there off the left side and between Cody Parker and Coleman Osborne. Another good push right there in Kavanaugh Jones. Great run there on first down. Something Concord's been very good at, getting good gains on the first play.
They gave him 7 yards, 2nd and 3. The ball is snapped over Novak's head. The ball is still free, and the Huskies fall on the football and have a turnover. Their 43rd forced turnover of the season, and now they're the record holders in Bloomsburg history. They lead the nation in that category. It was a high snap, and the Huskies know how to get after a loose football.
It's the second time today Concord's been bitten by a bad snap, and that one was a little bit high, but it still hit Novak right in the hands, and good job by the Huskies just pouncing on that ball and taking out every Mountain Lion in the process.
Lowry was the one that recovered it, and Stair was the one that knocked it free. There is, look at him, the sideline, talking about exactly what he just did there. Made a big play for his team, and they really needed that. Great field position now, and a great opportunity to get back in the football game. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Mateo with it up the middle. Plenty of running room. Mateo still on his feet inside the 5-yard line and down to the 1.5-yard line. Tough run. Second-level runner. Got through that hole pretty quick. Again, he has 1 touchdown run already, and on the season, 25 rushing touchdowns.
Great blocking up front, and then makes 2 guys miss there, dragging 3 down to the 2-yard line, and Bloomsburg with a great opportunity to get right back into this game.
This is what Bloomsburg does. Forces turnovers, and then they score touchdowns with their running attack. 1st and goal from the 2-yard lines for Bloomsburg. They give it to Mateo right side, tries to fight his way down to the goal line, and he's just short. Nearly got in. Looked like he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Had a good second effort to get really close to that goal line.
Will Greathouse just kept him out of the end zone, just stuffing him there right at the 1-yard line. Concord's going to find out what they're really about right here as they try to keep Bloomsburg out of the end zone.
So if you're going to talk about a way for Bloomsburg to get back into this football game, the recipe's right there for them. They force that turnover, get great field position, and then try to get on the board, taking advantage of the turnover. See if the Huskies can get in and score. From the 1-yard line, Kelly, who had 3 rushing touchdowns last week, had a couple of short quarterback sneaks against Virginia State, and he's in the end zone for the Bloomsburg touchdown. Tim Kelly runs it in, and the Huskies are right back in this game.
Just a lot of fight up there up front, just pushing everyone going, and obviously getting the push from your fullback there at the end doesn't help. I mean, doesn't hurt at all.
So a quick 3-play drive after the turnover, and there is Tim Kelly with 3 rushing touchdowns last week, follows his big offensive line and gets that push and gets into the end zone. Now Drexler on for the point after for the Bloomsburg Huskies. The rain has stopped here in Athens, maybe just a slight drizzle now. For a time it rained pretty hard in parts of the first half. Drexler's point after is up and good. And Bloomsburg takes advantage of a turnover, turns it into a touchdown. And we got ourselves a football game here in the third quarter. The Ncaa quarterfinals, Concord 23, Bloomsburg 16 on the Sports Fever Television Network.
I only live and try to give my relief.
Whether you want to compete as an athlete or cheer from the stands, Concord has a place for you. If you're a veteran ready to use your GI benefits, Concord ranked number 3 in the nation for veterans by Military Times Edge magazine. If you started a degree but didn't finish, you may get credit for work, life, or military experience through our Regents Bachelor of Arts program. If you're looking for a quality school with quality programs, check us out at concord.edu. Our alumni take great pride in their Concord University degree. Here's why. On average, 25% of our graduates go to prestigious graduate schools like Johns Hopkins, Duke, and Columbia University. Our graduates hold high-level positions with employers like Nike, Microsoft, the Pentagon, Disney, and Amazon. Others are teachers, accountants, and social workers, and more start their own businesses. Concord's career-focused liberal arts education allows you to pursue various career options, not just a single job. Check us out at concord.edu.
Concord University offering master degrees in social work, business, and education. Concord University. Visit them at concord.edu. Bloomsburg Huskies doing what they do, forcing their 43rd takeaway of the season with a fumble, and they turned that into a short 3-yard, 15-yard drive, 3-play, 15-yard drive. Just took off 1:07 on the clock and ended with a Kelly quarterback sneak in from 1 yard out and makes it 23-16, and the Huskies right back into this football game. So Bloomsburg will kick away to Concord. Concord will be back out offensively after making the turnover or fumbling the football and turned into some points for the Huskies. On the return, Petty. Just a short 9-yard return on the play. And the stop made by DJ Robinson coming up for the Huskies, a good special teams player and solid guy on the defense as well, this Bloomsburg defense. Take a look at it here, just a short return for Petty.
Just really had nothing working right there, and that's about it. All Petty can do. Great play right there by DJ Robinson coming up with an open field tackle. Now Concord is really going to have to answer here if they want to keep control of this game.
Concord with a 1st and 10 from the 19. We'll see if the momentum shifts fully to Bloomsburg or not. Concord wants to have some positive plays. Novak has to roll, and he throws the football away. Intended receiver was Smith, but well over his head as Novak just ran out of time, didn't have an open receiver. Novak is impressive. Over 3,300 yards. 33 touchdown passes. The team has 35 touchdown passes through the air. Phil Shaner along with A.J. Good and the entire Sports Fever television network. Proud to bring you the NCAA quarterfinal matchup between Concord and Bloomsburg, with the winner going next week to the national semifinals. From Athens, West Virginia this afternoon on a rainy day in Athens, West Virginia. Pass out of the backfield goes to Kavanaugh Jones, and Kavanaugh just his 8th catch of the season out of the backfield. There's a short gain there. The Bloomsburg defense did a nice job in containing.
And they got all kinds of momentum working right here. And a good open field tackle here on Kavanaugh. It looks like he has him going, but there's our man, Ryan Shirk, with another great tackle one-on-one.
Yeah, Shirk's going to be everywhere the ball is. That linebacker is special. Defensive Player of the Year in the Super Region 1 and also in the PSAC. Novak has to throw it away. Ball's in the air, nearly intercepted. The pressure came. Novak had to get rid of it in a hurry. The ball was nearly picked off.
Great pressure once again there up front by the Husky defensive line, and he originally had his receiver open, but he underthrew it, got way too much air on it, throwing it off his back foot, and almost another interception by Bloomsburg. Look at that, 5 white jerseys around that football.
Ball bounces in the air, and Toomey wanted another interception there, but wasn't able to come up with it. So they'll kick it away. Garrett Lee will punt the ball away to Bloomsburg, who has momentum on their side now. And a fair catch called for at the 25-yard line. And that's where the Huskies will take over offensively.
What a punt right there by Kelly. They're a rugby-style team, but he really got a lot of air under that ball and a very good punt.
So we'll see what Bloomsburg can do, see if they can now with back-to-back scores. Again, that was huge for them to get that touchdown right before the half, the Eddie Mateo 2-yard run, and then the turnover right here to start the third quarter and points. So back-to-back scores by Bloomsburg without Concord answering that. So see if the Bloomsburg offense can get into a little rhythm. Now with the lead at 23-16, they can do what they do and run the football and don't have to be pressed as much to pass it. And Mateo will get the run. And Mateo still on his feet and picks up 13 yards. He has that ability to get through the line and break a tackle. It looks like when you think you had him for 5 yards, he breaks a tackle and gets 7 extra.
Yeah, he got a good push up there by his offensive line and broke 4 yards in the open space. And he's really running like a man with a purpose right now. And Bloomsburg getting in the rhythm offensively. They're getting under the center right now, and they're really trying to take advantage of all this momentum they have.
Eddie Mateo from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, played at Freedom. He's a guy you don't want to get upset because he can run it. Mateo gets a break, and Munger gets the call this time with Mateo out. Munger, the fresh legs, able to pick up 2 yards in the first down carry. Mateo 15 carries for 74 yards, and Munger's been in a couple of times to kind of spell him, and that was Munger's second carry of the game. It's good to have that when you're such a tough runner, to be able to get a break every so often when you're a tough runner the way that Mateo is. And Munger's the perfect player for that, to come in and give you a kind of different style running back as well. So a 2nd and 9 for Bloomsburg. Trying to continue after back-to-back scores, one right before the first half and then after the turnover here in the third quarter. Kelly looks like he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Kelly to Mateo. I'm sorry, that's Lawrence Elliott Jr., so more fresh legs. Very smart by the coaching staff to get some guys in there. So now you had a run by Mateo and then Munger, and then here the third option of running the football, Lawrence Elliott. So some fresh legs in there, and he was able to get the first down and move the chains.
The star of that play was Ryan Geiger. He made that adjustment for Kelly at the offensive line and also drove his man about 8 yards down the field. So very good decision there by Geiger.
So some fresh legs running the football, 3 different backs running the ball for the Huskies. They're starting to set in now. You're starting to see now they're playing their kind of game plan, you know, after a first half where they were pressed a little bit. And they give again up the middle, some running room for Elliott. Still on his feet. Lawrence Elliott won't go down. What a great second effort there. Elliott with a huge run to move the chains.
They're imposing their will up front. They're imposing their will with all the backs that they're bringing into the game. And like you said, ball control offense. They want to get turnovers. They want to get points off those turnovers. And they want to destroy you slowly. And that's what they're doing right now, the Concord.
Great second effort by Lawrence Elliott. The big pickup. 1st and 10 now from the 25-yard line. Elliott 26 yards on that last carry. So after a 26-yard run, the Huskies in business. Throwing the football. Kelly incomplete. His intended receiver was DJ McFadden. It was over his head.
And Bloomsburg's really the reason that this game is turning around is because they're being more physical. They're beating Concord up front. They really didn't need a play right there. Yes, he was open, but Kelly hasn't thrown the ball well all game. They really need to just keep sticking it to the run ground, keeping the game on the ground, and really just imposing their will all over Concord, because they're right now in the second half the way more physical football team.
Controlling the line of scrimmage, winning the battle on the line, and the offensive line is doing that now for the Huskies. Maybe wore down Concord a little bit. Mateo's back in there and gets the carry. Mateo picks up 2.5 yards. Concord defense responds that time on the one-on-one matchup in the trenches.
And got a little help there by Mateo by slipping on this wet surface. It's a little older surface, kind of hard to grip it. He did get a good push up front, and again, this is a 3rd and long situation. Bloomsburg hasn't converted one of these yet today, and they really need this one in a big way.
AJ, you're right, struggling on 3rd down so far today, and this is a 3rd and 7 from the 22-yard line. They want to keep the momentum in their favor. They need to pick up a first down. They'll need to get 8 yards to get the first, and Kelly's working out of the shotgun. Kelly loves the roll. He rolls to his right and fires the ball away and out of bounds, looking for Connor Gatis, but it was incomplete. So a 4th down now coming up for the Huskies.
And that play didn't have a chance from the start. Concord was blitzing. Taylor was rolling to his right, and that play did not have a chance from the start. And a big decision right here for Bloomsburg. Do they go for it? Do they kick it? A lot riding right here on this decision. And it looks like they're staying out there.
Well, momentum has been on Bloomsburg's side. They scored the last 2 touchdowns after Concord build a 23-2 lead. 2 back-to-back touchdowns by the Huskies, and we're at 23-16. 8 minutes to go, third quarter, and a big fourth down, and they will go for it. On fourth downs this year, 53%. The Huskies with a 4th and 7. And there's a timeout called, and we'll take a timeout as well. Concord up 23-16. A big fourth down coming up when we get back on the Sports Fever Television Network.
I chose Concord because it's an affordable education. It's close to home.
There's just something about it that I felt like I needed to be here.
If someone's not ready for college, it might make them feel more welcome than a larger university might.
I love that everybody's so friendly. I can get to know my teachers. My teachers get to know me.
The academics are really challenging, and I find that to be really rewarding in the long run, to actually know that I'm learning more here than I did at my previous school.
Start your career today at Concord University.
Stop by our campus location or visit us online for all your BU apparel or gifts. For hours and location, log on to the bloomustore.com or follow us on Facebook. Big fourth down, 4th and 7 for the Bloomsburg Huskies. Bloomsburg apparel for the holiday season. Why not? Umbrellas is the apparel of choice today, and a rainy day in Athens, West Virginia, and a big fourth down for the Bloomsburg Huskies. And a big down for the Concord defense as well. Here comes the pressure. The offensive line holds up for Kelly, and a wide open touchdown. Could have been more wide open. DJ McFadden with his 6th touchdown catch of the season, and a breakdown in the defense by Concord. And DJ was wide open in the center of the field.
Combination of two things. Great pass protection by the offensive line. Concord blitz went man coverage right there. Like you said, a breakdown and a guy wide open on that play. There's supposed to be a safety there, and he was nowhere to be found.
Safety, they decided to blitz. The safety wasn't there, and an easy shot in the double move for DJ McFadden. He was wide open with the bid on that. The safety wasn't back there for help because Concord decided to blitz and roll the dice, and Bloomsburg won that dice decision by Concord with the touchdown. The point after is up and good. Bloomsburg ties this football game at 23-all in the third quarter with 7:58 to go. A trip to the national semifinals is on the line, and we're all tied in Athens, West Virginia. More coming up on the Sports Fever Television Network. Kelly to McFadden for the touchdown. Huskies have come all the way back in this one, down 23-9. Now they tie the game up at 23-all with 3 consecutive touchdowns, and Concord hasn't answered them. An 8-play, 75-yard drive in 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Capped off Tim Kelly, a 22-yard touchdown pass to DJ McFadden, and a tie game here in the third. This is what playoff football is all about. They're living to play on and play next week in the national semifinals.
They've got all the momentum right now. They're doing everything that they wanted to do starting out this game, getting that onside kick, imposing their will, being the more physically fit, physically tough football team. They didn't do it in the first half. It was all Concord. Concord was sticking it to them, but finally Bloomsburg is starting to punch back at Concord, and Concord needs to have their best answer they've had all season right here on this drive.
Here you see Coach Darren, that scoring drive I talked about, 8 plays, 75 yards, 22-yard touchdown pass, Tim Kelly to DJ McFadden. McFadden's 6th touchdown catch of the season. Concord will try to offensively get things going as they Douse with the catch. Douse's 6th catch of the game. Coming up there to make the stop is Gary Postel on the coverage. Douse again with that special teams touchdown, 81 yards. At that point it was a 16-2 game, and then Jones with a 1-yard touchdown run made it 23-2. Since then, it's been all Bloomsburg with 3 touchdowns. Going deep. What a catch. T.J. Smith down to the 30-yard line. Novak put it up. Smith came down with it. What a grab by T.J. Smith.
Unbelievable. That's exactly what this team needed. Novak's been looking for him all game, and he finally got him in man-to-man coverage, threw it over his back shoulder. What an amazing catch by the freshman.
T.J. Smith is a special wide receiver. 48 catches coming in over 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. In back-to-back games with 71-yard touchdown catches, he's a special player. Jones gets the football, and he won't go down. Still won't go down. The whistle blows. So Concord now answering the call after 3 touchdowns scored upon. You see the home crowd trying to get behind their Mountain Lions here in the rain. in Athens, West Virginia, with 7 minutes to play here in the third quarter. All tied up in the NCAA quarterfinals. Jones around the outside. Still on his feet inside the 5-yard line and into the end zone for the touchdown.
Unbelievable job. Got around the edge. We talked about him in between the tackles, but he's been even more effective on the edge. You know what the great running backs do? They set up their blocks. And Cavanaugh Jones really set up his blocks on this play. And a great job by the offensive line. This is what Concord has done all season. Every time it looks like a team is really going to get right back at him or take control of this game, they answer with a quick drive.
Cavanaugh Jones with his 12th rushing touchdown of the season, second one of this game, and Concord finally answers back to Bloomsburg, who scored 3 consecutive touchdowns, stops the scoring streak by the Huskies and gets on the board, and they're back on top. The kick after Ellington, the point after, the kick is up, and the kick is no good. So with 6:54 to go, Concord back on top, 29-23, but the mixed extra point. We'll take a break and be back. It's the NCAA quarterfinals on the Sports Fever Television Network. So Concord answers very quickly after Bloomsburg ties the game at 23-23. Just took 1 minute and 1 second. A 4-play, 74-yard drive, capped off by a 16-yard rushing touchdown by Cavanaugh Jones. Jones, 16 carries, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Concord Mountain Lions today. So, boy, they answered back quickly after Bloomsburg scored 3 consecutive touchdowns after coming back from being down 23-2. Took them just 1 minute and 1 second. One problem that's certainly developing on kicks for Concord is center snapping the ball back to the holder. 3 times so far there's been some high snaps that's caused some problems for the kicking game for Concord.
It's the little things like that could hurt you at the very end of the game. They also had to drop touchdown in the first quarter as well.
So Concord will kick it back to Bloomsburg. Let's see if the Huskies can answer the Concord score. And that is Elliott on the return. Good return by Elliott. 24-yard return, and there's a penalty mark. It looks like it might come out as the referees are over on the Bloomsburg sideline, not happy with some of their players. And you see Coach Dara is getting on his players to make sure that doesn't happen, and his coaching staff keep control of his sideline over there. Coach Dara in his second season as head coach, 21-3. Paul Dara has been named PSAC East Coach of the Year back-to-back years. He's been in the program for a long time. His 18th season in the program, was the defensive coordinator on the legendary coach Danny Hale.
Coach Dara's not happy because his returner got hit about 3 yards out of bounds. There should have been a 15-yard penalty on that play.
Yeah, Elliott took a hit very late, and that's why the sideline reacted the way they did for Bloomsburg. So a 1st and 10 from the 36. Kelly rolls again and has a man open, and a completion to Connor Gatis.
It's right there in Bloomsburg's range. They love to roll those those rollouts, I should say, trying to get their guys open. And the receivers are getting more separation from these DBs as this game goes on. A better pass there by Kelly, getting his feet set better, trying to deliver a better ball.
Yeah, and he has no problem throwing up against his body. He rolls both to the right and the left. And when he rolls to the left, he has that ability to throw against his body, and he was able to do it there with their completion to Gatis. Going back to the running game now. Up the middle for Mateo, and Mateo forces his way for about 2 yards. Looked like he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, but it's hard to get Mateo down for a tackle for a loss. He always has that ability to get his body forward for that extra yard or 2.
This Concord defense is doing a better job of stuffing those holes. It's one of these things with these good running backs is they cut back very well, and Concord on that play, and really for the most part of the game, have done a good job of shutting down those cutback lanes.
You see on your TV the rain coming down a little bit harder now. There was some heavy rain in the first half, and then it slowed down for a while, and it's coming down pretty good now. 2nd and 8 from midfield for the Huskies. And Kelly rolling out again as a man open on the sidelines, and that is DJ McFadden. DJ McFadden with the catch and the first down, pick up of 15 yards, a 15-yard pass and catch. Kelly again rolling against his body.
Carbon copy of the play they executed earlier, this time to his favorite target. Maybe a little bit of a push-up that got him open, but the official didn't call it, so it didn't happen.
He is so good on the rollout. 2 passes exactly like that, one to Gatis and that one for the first down for 15 yards to McFadden. Bloomsburg's got their tempo back and got things going now after a shaky beginning to this game. Mateo with a hold of the right side. Mateo picks up 4 yards on a first down carry. Mateo's 18th carry, over 80 yards rushing the football.
The one thing that Bloomsburg has done very well so far coming out in the second half is showing balance. Yeah, they've hit some big runs here in the second half, but these passing plays really kind of keeping Concord on their heels, not blitzing as much, and really trying to get those one-on-one situations with these wideouts.
Bloomsburg trying to answer Concord's touchdown. They do it on the ground. Nearly a first down for Mateo, and looks like the spot will give him the first down. So 8-yard pickup and a first down for the Huskies.
And doing what they do best, tough physical football. You saw Mateo lower his shoulder and take out the linebacker on that play, and this is why this game is changing. This is why Bloomsburg is starting to take over, as they're winning the physical battle in all areas of the game right now.
There's Eddie Mateo taking a well-deserved drink on the sidelines. Over 80 yards rushing, got that big first down for the Huskies. First and 10 from the 24. Munger in to relieve Mateo running the football. He takes a pretty good hit.
Irvin Moore once again. He's been all over the field for Concord today, delivering the hit right there. Munger's more of the outside back guy, so maybe that kind of plays into Concord's favor a little bit, because they're not handling these up the middle power runs that they're doing with Mateo.
Huskies do a good job, though, of giving Mateo some relief, and Munger was able to fill the void there, but back comes Munger into the game, or excuse me, Munger heading out and Mateo coming back in. 2nd and 7. They gave him 3 on the carry from the 22-yard line. There is Mateo. Second and 7. Kelly will throw the football. Some pressure coming his way, trying to get out of the pressure, and he gets out of bounds. And there's a flag for a late hit. Kelly was out of bounds, and he was hit probably about 3 or 4 yards down the sideline and drew the flag for the late hit.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Number 90 on the defense. We'll go half the distance.
They need to be a little bit smarter right there on that play. That might be a makeup for what they missed on the kickoff down there, but you know, Taylor's just running out of bounds. They need to just let him go. They play good right there, and just not smart. He's a good 2 yards out of bounds. You got to play smarter football, but Concord been victim by these penalties really for the most part of the season. They averaged 9 a game coming into it, and adding another one right there.
Well, the Bloomsburg staff thought they missed one on Elliott on the kickoff return. So that was the case with Kelly. But Kelly to the penalty of the late hit on Kelly. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. The Huskies could get a first down if they get it down to the 1-yard line. So a 1st and 10 situation. Mateo is stuffed down, and a good job by Concord to handle Mateo. But Mateo's kind of come on. That was his 20th carry of the day, 89 yards and a touchdown. Eddie Mateo is one of those runners, AJ, that is very good after contact.
Yes, he is, and he just keeps running hard, running with his head, with his shoulders down, good low center of gravity, and it also helps to have this offensive line that's just firing off the ball, hats on hats, and just shoving guys off the ball.
Good look at one of 3 of Mateo's best runs of the day there. Eddie Mateo, 20 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown. They'll give it to Mateo straight ahead, gets hit at the line of scrimmage, and is down immediately. Good job by the Concord defense. Right at the line of scrimmage to make sure Mateo didn't go any further.
Silas Ajame, great penetration there up front, blowing up that play in the background, in the backfield. And Bloomsburg loves that play. They kind of love getting the offensive line coming to the left, a deep handoff, maybe a cutback there, but it doesn't work when you get a defensive lineman that's 5 yards up the field.
Third and 10 from the 11. Passing situation for Kelly and the Huskies offense. Kelly rolling. Fires to the end zone. The ball is incomplete. Hits the turf a little early. He was looking for Lawrence Elliott Jr. was the intended receiver, and it was bounced in front of him. A short pass, and now it's a 4th down for the Huskies.
Much better coverage that time by Concord. They recover them all over on that play again. They stick with that man defense, but that time was a whole lot better. And also getting the man in Kelly's face certainly helps out.
So a field goal attempt for Drexler for the Bloomsburg Huskies after their 10-play, 52-yard drive stalled out. We'll see if they can kick a field goal, but looks like the coaching staff is looking at the clock and may call a timeout before the kick. They're late getting a player on. Now they have 11 guys. The Huskies were late getting someone out there, and they did. And here comes the kick by Drexler. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Drexler gets Bloomsburg on the board. So with 1:39 to go in the third quarter, Concord 29, Bloomsburg 26 in the NCAA quarterfinals of the Sports People Television Network.
Whether you want to compete as an athlete or cheer from the stands, Concord has a place for you. If you're a veteran ready to use your GI benefits, Concord ranked number 3 in the nation for veterans by Military Times Edge magazine. If you started a degree but didn't finish, you may get credit for work, life, or military experience through our Regents Bachelor of Arts program. If you're looking for a quality school with quality programs, check us out at concord.edu. Our alumni take great pride in their Concord University degree. Here's why. On average, 25% of our graduates go to prestigious graduate schools like Johns Hopkins, Duke, and Columbia University. Our graduates hold high-level positions with employers like Nike, Microsoft, the Pentagon, Disney, and Amazon. Others are teachers, accountants, and social workers, and more start their own businesses. Concord's career-focused liberal arts education allows you to pursue various career options, not just a single job. Check us out at concord.edu.
Concord University, a veteran-friendly school where students come to learn and go to serve. Concord University. For more information, go to concord.edu. So Athens, West Virginia, Concord University on campus. Callahan Stadium, and there's the head coach. Coach Justice has his Concord Mountain Lions in the NCAA quarterfinals. It was a big thrill for them last week to host their first ever NCAA game on campus with a wild win over Westchester. And he knows he's in a dogfight here with the Bloomsburg Huskies.
What a great job he's been a part. When he first came here, they were 0-11. And the job that he's been a part of as his staff as an assistant and a head coach of turning this thing around is nothing short of a miracle.
He has done an incredible job. And as his team trying to get to the national semifinals. Special teams are always special for this team, and that's Tico Henderson. Henderson with a nice return. The Huskies trying to drive him back, however, after they hold him up at the 30-yard line. The helmet comes off the player there for the Huskies. Some tough physical special teams play.
Starting to see a little extra curricular activities after the whistle going on. We had a little bit in the first half, but you can tell the emotions are riding high, and both these teams know exactly what's on the line. So they're what they say, playing to the echo of the whistle, maybe like the third or fourth echo of the whistle. I've seen some of these plays.
I think you got that right, AJ. Bloomsburg, 11-play, 52-yard drive and 5-10, ended with a 28-yard field goal by Drexel. Bloomsburg trails 29-26. They answered Concord's touchdown. Concord, Calvian Jones with a touchdown run. Let's see what Concord offense can do this time. They give it to Jones. It's kind of weird when you look at the stats and you see a quarterback that's thrown for over 3,300 yards and let your offensive player of the conference, it happens to be Jones. Jones gets the carry again, gets up nearly to the 40-yard line, but he's just short of the first down. He'll be a yard short. Brian Novak is 13 of 19 today, 165 yards and a touchdown. Novak has made some big plays when he had to, but give it to Jones to try to get the first down. Great job by Bloomsburg defense to get Jones in the backfield for a tackle for a loss, and the Bloomsburg defense answered the call there.
Roy Dennis really made great penetration right there, and that's what really blew that play up. That was kind of a slow developing play, but Dennis was 3 yards in the backfield, and that's what made that play go dead in a hurry.
Final 20 seconds of the third quarter, and we're about to head to the fourth quarter here in Athens, West Virginia. In a tight one, 29-26, with the big-time stakes on the line. Quarterfinals, the Super Region 1 championship on the line. The winner advances to the national semifinals next week and continues on the road to Kansas City and a national championship. Winner of this game will still need 2 more wins to be national champs, and that is the end of the third quarter. We're heading to the fourth. We have a good one here in Athens, West Virginia. Concord 29, Bloomsburg 26. Come on back for the fourth on the Sports Fever Television Network.
I chose Bloomsburg University.
Hey folks, I'm Billy Pantella at Pantella Mitsubishi, and I gotta know, why do you keep throwing money at that old used car? I've discounted every new Mitsubishi so anyone can drive away in a brand new car with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and 5 years of roadside assistance. The 2014 Mitsubishi Mirage gets 44 miles per gallon and is only $199 per month. Come see me at Pantella Mitsubishi, 690 Oak Road in Princeton, or shop 24/7 at pantella.com.
I chose Concord because it's an affordable education. It's close to home.
There's just something about it that I felt like I needed to be here.
If someone's not ready for college, it might make them feel more welcome than a larger university might.
I love that everybody's so friendly. I can get to know my teachers get to know me.
The academics are really challenging, and I find that to be really rewarding in the long run, to actually know that I'm learning more here than I did at my previous school.
Start your career today at Concord University.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter on the Sports Fever Television Network. Phil Shaner, A.J. Good, and we are looking forward to the final 15 minutes of this one in the fourth quarter with the winner going to the national semifinals. There's Coach Dara getting his team ready. Concord on the other sideline and Coach Justice. On a 4th and 3, and Concord will punt the ball away to the Bloomsburg Huskies to start the fourth quarter. High snap, but the kick is off, and it's going to go out of bounds. Stays in bounds with a wild bounce. Nearly went out of bounds and then took a golfer's type bounce and bounced with a good bounce for Concord, bouncing backwards. So down to the 14-yard lines where the Bloomsburg Huskies will start. And you got to remember now that Bloomsburg was down in this game at one time 23-2. Came back to tie it up, and then Jones with a 16-yard touchdown run with just 1 minute off the clock and put Concord back on top. And Drexler's 28-yard field goal answered that for Bloomsburg, and that's where we sit now, 29-26 here in the fourth quarter. A.J. Good, I should say, joins us on the Sports Fever Television Network. He's the sports director, our local Sports Fever Television Network affiliate, WVVA in Bluefield, right here in the West Virginia markets. We're glad to have A.J. with us, and he's covered Concord all year this year, and they're in for a good one here in the fourth.
Yes, they are. This is a great way to start right here. They try a little opposite direction play right there, and 3 guys led by Nick Ortiz, their team's leading tackler, stepping up with a big play.
Haven't called Nick Ortiz's name much today, but he is a good one for this defense. He's a second-team all-conference player and has made a lot of tackles this year. 76 tackles, leading the team, coming in with 6 sacks as well.
We've certainly called Irvin Moore and Will Greathouse's name too. All 3 of them on that play right there.
So 2nd and 11 after Bloomsburg lost a yard on the Mateo run. They give the Mateo, trying to get running room with a straight arm, and gets out of bounds and gets a few yards. Mateo stretching the field, getting to the outside for the pickup there. So now Bloomsburg, they got back into this game, were able to do what they do with running the football and try to establish the line of scrimmage, and Concord's now trying to match that challenge and really get their front guys and some of their linebackers to come up and make some plays.
Doing a good job there, just funneling that to the sideline. You know, that can be your 12th defender is using that sideline, and Concord used it well there. And again, Bloomsburg in a 3rd and long, and this is not their game whatsoever.
3rd and 7 from the 17. Kelly with plenty of time to throw the football. Now rolling out of the pocket. Goes downfield deep. And in and out of the hands of Chad Hoffman. He had 2 wide receivers down there, both DJ McFadden and Chad Hoffman. And it was in and out of the hands as Kelly went deep. unable to come up with it. Take a look at it here, AJ.
Your left and center fielder need to say mine on that play right there, because he had Hoffman wide open. They ran cover 2, and he gets behind the defense right there, but 2 guys in the same place, and Hoffman kind of gave up on that a little bit when the ball wasn't originally thrown to him, but that would have been a big play. The momentum would have completely shifted Bloomsburg's way right there, but Concord dodging a bullet right there and getting a chance to get the ball back, and probably will get it back in good field position.
Ended up going through Hoffman's hands, but as you mentioned, McFadden was there as well. So now Will Wagner will punt it away for Bloomsburg, standing at his own 2-yard line. Dowse, who already has 1 punt return for a score, waits for it back deep, but it's not going to get that far and goes out of bounds, and the ball will be marked up at the 40-yard line. So great field for position for Concord. They'll start at Bloomsburg's 40 with a 29-26 lead.
Special teams could spin this game in this way. You know, Concord had a good punt that pinned Bloomsburg back on their own goal line, and then a bad punt here by Bloomsburg now gives Concord the ball on the Bloomsburg 40-yard line.
Great field position for Novak and this Concord offense, and there you see that kick by Will Wagner. Went out of bounds and marked at the 40-yard line. So Bloomsburg's defense is going to have to step up here, and Concord wants to get some points on the board. Jones run out of bounds after a 1-yard pickup, gets to the 39-yard line.
This is going to be an interesting matchup coming up here in the fourth quarter. These front lines, both offense and defense for both teams, going at each other, and it's been a war all game, but it's really been a war to start here in the fourth quarter.
Jones, his 21st carry of the game, now 88 yards, has 2 touchdowns for the Conference Offensive Player of the Year in the MEC. 2nd and 9. Give to Jones. Jones has the first down, has more. Jones with a 17-yard pickup gets out to the 20-yard line.
You could drive a truck through those holes that he was going right there. What a great job by the offensive line, and then Calvinall setting them up right here and breaking some tackles downfield in a big play that Concord needs on offense right now.
Yeah, here's where you see what Jones was able to do. That touchdown earlier, the short touchdown run, and the offense, and Cavanaugh has been one of the guys they've gone to with Jones with the 2 touchdowns, and Novak as well with 165 yards passing. So he's done a nice job, and we got to see what this offense is all about. But we'll head down to our head official to see what the whistle is all about as they stop the play on a 1st and 10. Now he's going to reset things and restart that clock. So a 1st and 10 for Concord from the 21-yard line. Concord likes to have some tempo offensively. Again, averaging 46 points a game. Score a lot of points. Now they're resetting the game clock. I believe there might be an issue with the time that it's currently on the game clock, and the referees are stopping to talk about that. So Bloomsburg's defense is going to need to step up here, and this is like one of these points in the fourth quarter where, you know, here's where this momentum's going to go. Concord wants to get on the board and score, get more distance between them, and you know, Bloomsburg defensively knows they need to stop.
Especially in the red zone, which is where they get a lot of these turnovers off little silly mistakes. And Concord's made a few in this game, but you know, they're driving right now, and they're kind of using a Bloomsburg style of offense, and that's power football, running it up the middle and letting their offensive line do the work.
Bloomsburg leads the nation in takeaways. They've had a couple today that turned into be big, and really big as far as their turnaround, because they were down 23-2. So wide open pass play, and the completion to McGill. McGill with the catch, the 6'3" sophomore. A lot of the players on the roster, he's one from Maryland. A lot of players from Maryland and Virginia on this Concord roster. There's a look at McGill. The 2nd and 3 coming up for the Concord offense. And there's a whistle and a flag. Comes out and stops the play. Umpire throws the flag.
False start. 61 on the offense.
And a false start
penalty
on the offense. Coleman Osborne whistled for the false start for Concord, so that'll move them back. There's a look at Osborne, who is a all-conference first teamer. They have 4 of them on that offensive line.
They do a good job up front, but that's the 3rd penalty he's had. He's had 2 false starts and a holding penalty in this game, and kind of killed him. They got a great job, great play right there on 1st down, which they've done a good job of all day, but little penalties like this can hurt you in the long run.
Osborne is a sophomore, so a young player getting a lot of playing time. One of their go-to starters offensively. Give is Jones. You see the cutback ability, and cuts back and gets up to the 16-yard line, and he was brought down.
Toomey thought he had him right there, but he kind of froze him a little bit and put him on his backside, but didn't get as much as he wanted to. So a big third down, might be the biggest third down of the game for Concord right now.
3rd and 5 from the 6-yard line, from the 16-yard line. And Bloomsburg defensively knows they need to come up with a stop. And of course, on the other side, Coach Justice wants to make sure his offense can get this first down and keep things going and keep momentum on his side. So here we go, 3rd and 5 from the 16. Thries it out to Dowse. Dowse has the first down and still on his feet inside the 5-yard line, and then brought out of bounds at the 3. So a big play there by Dowse, who's come up with a lot of big plays this afternoon. He's the leading receiver today for Concord.
A smart play call. They go 5 wide and run a little bubble screen right here with Dowse. They get him to the edge. Not only does he do that, he breaks a couple tackles and gets him inside the 5-yard line in prime scoring position.
Dowse's 7th catch of the season. We have an injured player, an injured Husky down on the field, and we'll keep it here. Be a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line coming up for Concord, who's knocking on the door. Dowse with the 7 catches. That punt return for a score that won 81 yards. That put them up 16-2, and then they built that 23-2 lead. Let's take a look at Brian Novak, the quarterback for Concord, and what he has done today. 14 of 20, 172 yards and a touchdown. Able to hit a bunch of different receivers.
His main man has been Dowse for the most part in this game. You see him hit Stewart there. Actually, Stewart had one on the very next drive right in his hands that he dropped. But what you see him doing in the second half that's really been key for him is he's spreading around. You see McGill getting the ball. We saw that great pass down to T.J. Smith. So even though Dowse has been his man so far in this game, he's really starting to spread it around in the second half. And we talked about how good this offense has been, and really the key and why they're having over 500 yards a game and over 40 points per game is balance. They're running the ball well with Petty and running it well with Jones, but also Novak and what these group of receivers have done. This is why they're so dangerous. It's not just one thing that they do well. It's several things that they do well.
And he's hit 8 different receivers today in that 15 of 21 effort so far. So 1st and goal from the 3 for Concord. They give it to Jones. Jones up the middle and nowhere to go. Loses a yard. The Bloomsburg University front line comes up, makes a big play, and gets Jones down for a tackle for a loss.
And it's Shirk once again. Actually, right there, you saw the Bloomsburg front jump the snap count. Got a great push up front, and Shirk once again. He's just all over the field today, just like we expected him to be.
Shirk is so good at that, just jumping that count. He seems to know when that ball is going to be snapped, and he sometimes is in the backfield before the handoff is even exchanged. So 2nd and goal now from the 5. So he lost 2, did Jones, on the tackle for a loss. And Jones again, nowhere to go. And he's still on his feet. Didn't go down, stayed on his feet with a great second effort, and ends up at least getting a yard on the play. So it'll bring up a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line.
That there again, Roy Dennis jumping the snap and meeting Jones in the backfield. Didn't originally make the play, but stayed with it to make it there. But Novak's going to have to change up his snap counts here a little bit. And again, we talk about 3rd down conversions. They're so big in a game, but they're even bigger in the red zone, especially when you only have a 3-point lead late in the 4th.
Saw that face by Jones. You could tell he took a big hit. Little grimace in his face. He's out of the game now. 3rd and goal from the 4 for Concord. Novak out of the gun, time to throw. Fires, and it's incomplete. His intended wide receiver slipped down, T.J. Smith, and was unable to come up with it. If T.J. wouldn't have slipped, he would have had that for 6.
Right in his hands. It was thrown just a tad bit behind him, but it would have been an easy catch that anyone on this team could have made. But even though it's not raining anymore, but that surface is just so slippery. Go 5 wide, throw it right in the middle of that zone. That was a great pass, really, by Novak. And unfortunately, Smith, the freshman, just couldn't keep his feet in that situation.
Yeah, you see it right there. He would have had 6, but went to stop, and that's when he slid out. So the field goal attempt by Ellington. Here's the snap is down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. Ellington gives Concord 3. They increase their lead So 9:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Concord 32, Bloomsburg 26. The NCAA quarterfinals on the Sports Fever Television Network. A 9-play, 36-yard drive took 4:06 off the clock. The Huskies down 32 to 26. With 9:15 to go in the fourth quarter of this NCAA quarterfinals. The winner will play next week in the national semifinals. Be joined by a special guest in a few minutes, Steve Murray of the PSAC commissioner, and also acting as our director and leader this weekend here for the NCAA. The kick is in the end zone, so be a touchback. And we'll welcome in Steve Murray into our broadcast booth, and it's great to be here for you today and to see obviously a team out of your conference playing in Bloomsburg. But when we get to this late in the season, boy, the competition in this tournament is really a fun thing to follow all the way across the board.
Yeah, that's for sure. They teams at this point, when you start playing undefeated and one-loss teams, they got there for a reason, and they certainly show it. Concord's speed is a little bit surprising to me. They got a lot of speed. They handle 53 yards wide on that field every down.
That's the beauty of the tournament, too. You start learning about other teams and other Division II teams that you might not have heard of, might not been in your realm of thinking about, and all of a sudden when you get to this tournament, you're starting to realize there's other conferences and different styles of football, and that's been the case for Concord, and everyone kind of gets to know what they're all about with Coach Justice and what he's done here over the last few years to get this program going. So Bloomsburg trying to get back in the game. Lawrence Elliott Jr. with the carry, and not much there, but 2 yards. So the winner of this game will play the winner of Minnesota Duluth and Minnesota State. And we talked a little bit about this. When you get to this point, they then look at a committee will then re-bracket everything and figure out where we're going to be next week as far as the semifinals. If the winner of this game will either be on the road or a team will come, so that'll all be determined.
Yeah, there'll be a committee of 8. The National Division II Football Committee will determine that tonight. That basically will rank the two teams, and it'll be splitting hairs, but that's usually what it comes down to.
So a 2nd and 7 for Bloomsburg, and the play action, and Kelly will keep it, but some heavy pressure, and Kelly will be sacked. Trying a little trickery, but Concord was not fooled at all. Daryl Johnson comes up with the sack on Kelly.
Great job of reading that. He wasn't fooled at all on that play. He knew what was coming from the get-go, and what a big sack and forcing Bloomsburg into what they didn't need at all, and that's a 3rd and really long this late in the game.
Commissioner of the PSAC is joining us in the broadcast booth, and tough decisions have to be made by the committee, and that'll start tomorrow, right, when they start reevaluating these teams?
Usually they'll meet on Sunday morning and make the announcement early tomorrow afternoon, so the teams are aware of what they've got to do to prepare next week.
So now a big 3rd and 17 coming up for Bloomsburg. This is a big down for both Concord and Bloomsburg, and Concord's defense wants to make a stop. Bloomsburg wants to convert, and what a grab. Depend on the spot, it'll be a first down. Incredible catch there by Lawrence Elliott. Right at the marker for a first down. Knew exactly where he needed to get to, AJ. And how did he come up with this grab? Take a look at it here.
I don't know. He was just guessing just like everyone else. That's actually a terrible throw. Should have been picked off there by Jeremiah Johnson, but what a great play, and couldn't have come at a better time for the Huskies.
Jeremiah Johnson was right there, but what a catch by that man there. Lawrence Elliott Jr. with a big catch, giving Bloomsburg the first down and moving the ball up to the 35-yard line with the 1st and 10. Kelly will give to Mateo. Mateo running behind his big offensive line, and good enough for a 6-yard first down run. So depending on who wins this football game, is the likelihood a road game for one of these teams, or could there be a possibility that either the winner of this game, either Concord or Bloomsburg, could host next week?
Well, both of the other teams are undefeated, and that'll be a tougher sell. The Northern Sun Conference probably has a little bit tougher strength of schedule, and that probably will win out. So my guess is either one of these teams will go on the road, but that's just guessing.
Of course, the winner will face either Minnesota State or Minnesota Duluth in the semifinals. Now Husky gets it going to Connor Gatiss out there, and we're visiting with Steve Murray, the PSAC commissioner. Also here is our leader for the NCAA this weekend. kind of pinch hitting on a late roll. You had to come in and switch things around.
Reed Amos from the Mountain East Conference is supposed to handle the game, but their men's soccer team was in the national championship today, and he called and asked me if I'd come down and handle it for him, and I'm glad for them. They had a team in the national championship. They lost today, but it was good for them to have a national championship contender like that.
1st and 10 from the 48 for the Huskies in a crucial time in this game with just 6:21 to go. And Kelly back to pass, has time to throw the football and complete up to the 45-yard line, but it'll be short of the first down. Good catch there by DJ McFadden.
That's their bread and butter rollout. Get a quick button hook play there by the receiver and gets 8 yards on first down, something they need to do. And they're putting together a good drive right now, only down 6, so couldn't have come at a better time for these guys.
So now a 2nd and 2 situation for the Huskies from the 44. Trailing 32-26. Mateo up the middle, and there's a flag down, and Mateo gets a yard, but we'll have to wait to see what the flag is from our officials in the South Atlantic Conference, our officiating crew today.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 16 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
False start on DJ McFadden to Bloomsburg. That'll back them up.
Looks like Bloom's gone a long way from their stretch running and more lead offense, up ahead. I think they're struggling with the speed and the cutbacks with Concord, so I think they're running more straight at them now in the second half.
Relying on that offensive line because they're getting great pushes going. They've done that all throughout the second half.
There was a look at Paul Dare from the sideline. Now a 2nd and 7 for the Huskies. Again, we're down in this game 23-2 and kind of had to change things the way they play to get back into this football game. They go deep down the sideline and caught, but it was out of bounds. Let's see. He's in. Depends on the call. No call as of yet. DJ McFadden, they're still talking it out. Did he have it or not? One referee says yes, the other says no. They're going to give him the catch.
Yes. Yeah, the guy came in and put his hands over his head right away, so that indicated a catch for me from the side judge.
He wasn't even originally looking for the ball. He was kind of thinking it was going to come over his right shoulder, and this was actually a beautiful throw here by Kelly right there, and he does get that foot in.
Back foot.
Yeah, how about that? In a double coverage, no less. He just dropped that in the basket. Take a look at the shot here from our Sports Fever Television Network crew. The high pass by Kelly. Watch him come down. Does he get that foot in?
No.
Oh, I don't know. There's a penalty marker down. We'll have to wait on the flag, but
looks like holding.
Yeah, going to be a holding call on Bloomsburg. Bloomsburg with the number of penalties today, a lot more than what they average.
It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
There'll be a 10-yard penalty for holding for Bloomsburg. Bloomsburg seemed to be, Steve, a little out of sync in the opening quarter or so until they got settled in.
I think everybody started by Concord speed. They can handle it 53 yards wide, and a lot of back, from the back side is where Bloom gets a lot of rushing yards, and the Concord players can really feel from the backside. I think the speed was surprising.
What will the Huskies do here now? 1st and 20 after that great pass and catch. They got him into this situation in the red zone. Give it to Mateo. Has some running room up the middle. Mateo gets up to the 12-yard line.
What a giant hole off that left side. That left side of the Bloomsburg offensive line has been doing an incredible job all game. I mean, you can fit a tractor trailer through that hole, and a lot of holes they've had throughout the course of the game.
And Steve knows, as the commissioner of the PSAC, there's some big offensive lines, and Bloomsburg traditionally every year seems to have a humongous offensive line.
Well, and they lost 4 starters from last year's line, so they thought they were going to struggle this year. So they're very pleased with how well they've stepped up this year.
Lost all those starters and then put 4 all-conference players on the line again this year on that offensive line. 2nd and 11 for the Huskies from the 12-yard line. Play action by Kelly. Looks in the end zone and just down to the 1-yard line and incomplete. Looking for his big tight end, Aaron Allison. He's been targeted a couple of times today. He was only able to get one hand on it. Down at the 1-yard line, wasn't able to come up with it.
And that would have been a big completion to have. That would at least got him to the 1, got him a first down, but overthrew him by probably just a hand length on that play.
So now we got a 3rd and 11. So what are you doing here? Are you thinking, are you going to use 4 downs to try to score a touchdown, or is this something you're going to think about a field goal with 3:52 to go?
Well, I think you got to try to stick it in, TD, with 3 minutes to go. Of course, you got all your timeouts. So, well, no, you don't. You lost. There's only 2 for Bloom.
2 timeouts left for Bloomsburg. There's a shot at Kelly out of the gun. Throws it up into the end zone to Allison, and incomplete. Second target towards Allison. So now a 4th down coming up for Bloomsburg, and decision time. And take a look at this pass play here, trying to go to that big tight end. And his size at 6'3", 247, he's a big target.
Incredible play there by Shawn Shepard, getting his hand in on at the exact right moment he needed to, just knocking that away, because that would have hit him right in the chest for a touchdown.
Yeah, what a job by Shepard. There you see a celebration, number 23, coming up and knocking that ball down. So a 4th and 11 from the 12. They can get a first down if they get the ball down to the 1-yard line. Huskies, Kelly from the shotgun. Time to throw. Now here comes the pressure. Kelly rolls out to his right, looks downfield, corner of the end zone, and looks like someone grabbed the jersey, and the pass was incomplete. No flags on that play, as the intended receiver was, of course, DJ McFadden. That's who Kelly seems to go to when he needs a big play. But no penalty was called. Looks like he grabbed the jersey, but referees didn't throw the flag. We'll take another look at the play here.
And they only sent 3 guys in the pass route this time, but Kelly was throwing that one up for grabs and just overthrew him a little bit, just a little bit out of his reach. And Concord, I mean, they bracketed all 3 receivers on that play and even got great pressure on Kelly at the same time.
Mike Carey was there, and he is a shutdown corner. He was there. Good coverage, and also Harper as well. So they did a great job defensively. Definitely clean play, great defense by Concord down at the corner of that end zone. And now Concord takes over 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line with 3:38 to go. So Jones gets the carry out to the right side. So now, Steve, what happens when these teams now start to get ready for that next step? That next step. What are they? I mean, a lot of preparation, a lot of things goes into this university-wide to get ready.
It is, and it's a tough. I mean, it's tough because you're going into finals. Actually, both schools, these 2 schools, are both going into finals. So you got to deal with that. You got to deal with the long trip. You're going to have a charter flight, likely. Then you got to also get in the back of your mind, and it's kind of crazy, but you got to actually prepare for going to the national championship. It's a lot involved there. Phil, if I don't mind, Millersville just won the national field hockey championship out in Louisville, Kentucky. Beat LIU post 1-0. So that's
how about that? So that's in field hockey.
Yep.
Excellent. So PSAC has a national championship, national champ, and there's Jones with the carry. No national champs so far for the PSAC in football. IUP was there twice. Bloomsburg was there in 2000, lost to Delta State. Right. Still trying to get their first national title. But in other sports, there's been some national titles out of the PSAC.
Basketball, softball, women's basketball, men's basketball, field hockey, lacrosse over the years, yes. Baseball.
Yep. Steve Murray with us, the commissioner of the PSAC, along with A.J. Good and Phil Shaner. And the 2:30 to go, Bloomsburg and Concord. Concord with a 32-26 lead, trying to hold on to that and punch their ticket to the national semifinals next week. The field will be cut from 8 teams playing today down to 4 next week. And Jones is going to make sure he holds on to that football. Did not have a fumble all year long until last week against Westchester, and I think he learned his lesson, right, AJ, from last week?
Yes, he did, and the whole team has learned their lesson. Now, the interceptions have been another story, but both teams have really learned the lesson holding on to the football, and looks like they're a yard short on that play, and quick timeout there called by Coach Dara.
And there's a timeout on the field, but we will keep it here with our special guest in our broadcast booth as they get a good insight on this NCAA. So right here we'll see what the measurement comes up. What are you going to do here, AJ, if you're Coach Justice? You're going to punt this ball away? It depends how far it is. I mean, I think at this point, I would certainly punt the football away.
Punt away, especially as well as your special teams have played in this game. And the way your punter is punted on those rugby punts, getting at least 50, 60 yards a chance. So you got to trust your defense. He's trusted them all year long. He's talked about how well they played, even with their offense having these quick 3-4 play scoring drives all year long. Honestly, doesn't play in the Bloomsburg's game. They're not a 2-minute offense type of team. They're a grinded out type of team. So you got to make them beat you down the field, and they haven't done that much today. They've got a couple big pass plays, but this is a different situation when you know that the team that you're playing knows what's coming.
Yeah, Garrett Lee's been excellent punting the football, and they'll take another timeout, but we'll stay here. There's Coach Dara trying to get his troops. He knows his team's going to get an opportunity, but AJ, as you said, they're not one of those teams that's so much made up for that 2-minute offense. But they have the ability with their, the way they wear down that line of scrimmage. That Bloomsburg's a team that seems to, at times when they wear down a team, can break a long run, but Looks like Coach Dare will have his offense an opportunity to get the football back with under 2 minutes to go, down 32-26. And Steve, you could probably address how much hard work goes into getting this far in the season as far as what the teams put in, and it's a lot of work, especially from the coaching staff and the players.
You know, I mean, it's tough. I'm sure right there, Coach Dare's telling them to hold their water here. You don't want to offsides jump the line on this because I'm sure they're trying to draw them off. You also don't want to rough the punter, even though you want to get a good field position. You do have the PSAC's best return man in the league, and back in Lawrence Elliott. So you want to get a ball in his hands if you can. So
here we go, 4th and 1 from the 22-yard line. Lawrence Elliott Jr. is very dangerous back to receive the punt. That is 43. And Garrett Lee, who's been outstanding punting the football for Concord, will kick it away.
Don't be surprised maybe if Concord goes for a fake. You know, Garen Justice studied under Rich Rodriguez, who's in the special teams of, his philosophy is anything goes. So you never know what could happen in a situation like this.
Well, here we go with 2:07 to go. They're going to try to draw him offside, obviously, with that snap count. And the snap is back. Lee gets his foot into it. And the ball goes out of bounds. And that's where Bloomsburg will take over with 2 minutes left in this game. This is what it's all about. This is why you play playoff football. Bloomsburg down 32-26 on the road with 2 minutes to go. So here we go. The winner moves on to the national semifinals. The loser's season is over, and that's what's the beauty about this tournament. This tournament's been very exciting for a lot of people in the NCAA.
It is, and this is the way it should be. I'll tell you, I've watched Tim Kelly for 3 years. My son's played for Bloomsburg the last 4 years. I watched Tim. I would want the ball in Tim Kelly's hands if I'm Bloomsburg right now. He's a cool customer. He's calm. Doesn't get rattled a lot. So let's see what happens here. Of course, that Concord defense, but those guys were tough.
Tim Kelly has only thrown 6 interceptions. He does not make mistakes. They got 3 wideouts. The top of your screen there with 1st and 10 from the 37. Kelly to throw the football. Safe throw to Lawrence Elliott Jr. And a good first down play there. Picks up 7 yards. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 3 coming up for the Huskies.
Concord is bound and determined not to get beat deep on any of these plays. You saw about 11, 12 yards of space their DBs are giving their receivers here.
Kelly 16 of 34 with 234 yards and 1 touchdown. 2nd and 5 from the 42. They gave him a pickup of 5 on that pass play. Kelly has time to throw the football. Here comes some pressure. And a little screen off to Quinn. Quinn has the first down into Concord territory, but there's 2 penalty markers down. One down on the 35-yard line, the other one out of the 43.
There's going to be a hold on 50 for Bloom. He tackled a guy.
Yeah, two holding penalties.
Okay.
Hoagland, number 50, was going to be caught for holding, and they're talking this out. Kind of surprised about the amount of penalties at Bloomsburg. They're usually a team that doesn't commit a lot of penalties, and today had quite a few holding calls.
And that's speed. Concord's speed kills. And they are quick up front, and with the linebackers blitzing like they are, I mean that's what's created out of that. And you get your arm out there too far outside your body, you're going to get seen on a hold. And that was pretty obvious. He just tackled the guy from behind.
And you hate that on a play like that. That was a great play call because you got all your receivers to the right, and you run that little tight end screen to the left. That would have given them a lot of momentum, and now they're looking at 2nd and 15 here.
2nd and 15 moves them back to the 32-yard line and take away that little screen pass to Quinn. These officials want to talk about something here. It's another thing that the NCAA has to do. They got to get the right officiating crew. And,
yes.
That's a process in itself. And our South Atlantic Conference officials are the ones that are officiating the game today. Northeast 10 Conference officiated the games last week for Bloomsburg in that game against Virginia State. So you got to get the officials here, and for a lot of these officials, it's the first time they've seen these 2 teams play, and it's always interesting as well. 2nd and 15 for Bloomsburg with 1:37 to go, down 32-26. And they go to the tight end, Quinn. They had success with him on that tight end screen the play before. They come back to him on the opposite side for a nice pickup. But it'll be a 3rd and 5 coming up for the Huskies.
So the officiating, you go back, there's observers at each of these games. The observers will get together, they'll look at film, they'll determine which crew advances then next week and then the following week. So there's quite a few hands. These folks handled a Westchester Shepherd championship game in the region last year, and they also handled a first-round game. So this is a top crew. And I think they've done a great job.
Yep, Westchester beat Shepherd last year in the Super Region 1 championship and went on to the national semifinals to lose to Lenore Ryan. 3rd and 5 for Kelly, rolling out, throws the football, and it's short. Looking for DJ McFadden, his 10th receiver, but the ball was well underthrown.
Austin Dotson right in his face on that play, read it right from the get-go, and really forced him to kind of throw across his body a little bit on that play to try to hit his receiver. So here we go, 4th and 5. What's your team made of at this point in the season?
Yep, this is what it comes down to, 4th and 5 with 1:26 to go in the NCAA quarterfinal Super 1 Region Championship. You see the Concord crowd on their feet, get behind their team. Very excited to have the NCAA playoffs, their first ever game hosted last week, and a win over Westchester. And now there's a timeout on the field, and Concord will take a timeout to talk about things defensively.
Yeah, you talked about wanting to have the ball in Kelly's hands in this situation. He really has impressed me today. He's taken some shots. He's had some moments where the ball hasn't come out of his hand right, but he's also had some big moments throughout this game where the ball has been right on the money, exactly when you needed it to. So, we're really going to find out what this junior is made of right here on this play.
When you look at the quarterbacks in the PSAC, you look at him and you say, he's not that flashy, but over what will probably be the course of a 4-year starting career, he's not going to have a lot of losses. And that means, now he might not throw the ball as much, but that means he puts the offense in a position to win. And he's done that. He's a really bright kid. He's very quiet. He lived in a dorm a couple extra years. I mean, everybody's making fun of him. He said, Tim, you're the quarterback. Get off campus. And he's just this quiet kid. You wouldn't know he's a starting quarterback at one of the best Division II programs in the country.
Concord University student section very much involved in this one. They know the game is on the line. 4th and 5 with 1:26 to go. The 4th quarter, the Huskies need a first down. Concord wants to stop them to punch their ticket to the national semifinals. Kelly rolling, throwing. The ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's intercepted. The ball is picked off the tip. Derek Johnson coming down with the interception for Concord, and the Mountain Lions are starting to smell maybe a trip to Minnesota next week in the national semifinals.
He actually had Lawrence Elliott wide open right there at the sticks. If only he would have read it. I actually thought that was the route he was going to go to, but Austin Dotson, great job getting his hands up in the air to bat down that passer, to tip it in the air. And they talk about the tip drill, when they executed it perfectly right there.
Take a look at it right here. Derek Johnson coming up with the interception. He leads the team in interceptions. That's his 7th of the season. Ball gets tipped up, and Johnson is there for his 7th pick of the season. If the ball was tipped up in the air by Dotson, as you mentioned, AJ, and that'll do it. Steve Murray, the commissioner, joined us. We thank him for coming in and give us a perspective of what's happening in the NCAA in Division II as the national semifinals next week, down to just 4 teams. And there's the celebration on the sidelines for Concord. And they're starting to realize it's, I think now, AJ, starting to set in that this team is off to the national semifinals for the first time in school history. Their first ever playoff win last week in a shootout against Westchester, and then come here and take on Bloomsburg, a team that's been in the quarterfinals before, has a long history in the NCAA playoffs, has been to a national title game in 2000. And this Concord team, Coach Justice, here you see some of the faces, a team that's on a rise and about to punch a ticket to Minnesota next week in the semifinals.
I've been covering college football around this area for a long time, and 2008 they're 0-11. 2011 they win a conference championship in Garen's first year here. To see where this program was at that point, to see them where they are right now, and what great respect this program's getting nationally, but even more respect for the Mountain East. Everyone knows how good Shepherd is, but they really don't know about how good some of the other teams in this conference are, and Concord's really showing themselves right here. There's great talent in this league, and they're good enough to go up against some of the best in the PSAC and the CIAA, and we're going to find out how good they are against some of the teams in the North Central, I should say.
Jones, 27 carries, 116 yards. You know that Bloomsburg does not give up 100-yard rushers that often, and Jones came in here, was able to run for over 100 yards in this Bloomsburg defense. And the Huskies are out of timeout, so they can't stop the clock. So it's victory formation for Concord as they keep an eye on the clock, and they know they're punching their tickets to the national semifinals the next week to play either Minnesota Duluth or Minnesota State down to the round of 4. And there is Coach Justice and his Concord crew. Brian Novak, 15 of 22 for 185 yards. And the Concord crowd here in Athens, West Virginia, are happy about their Mountain Lions punching their ticket to next week's NCAA semifinals. The Bloomsburg Huskies fall just their second loss of the season. There's Mateo with a great afternoon running the football and a great career at Bloomsburg. Comes to an end here on a rainy day in Athens, West Virginia. Final seconds click off the clock as both teams meet each other and talk about this game and congratulate each other. And of course now it's off to the national semifinals for Concord. And A.J. Good is the sports director at one of our sports affiliate stations here at Sports Fever Television Network. A game heard on WVVA locally here, and he's the sports director who's been covering this. Now the excitement level even pick up even more with down to just 4 teams, and Concord's one of them.
Absolutely, especially when not many people saw this coming. They knew they were going to have a good season. Some people maybe even expected them to make it maybe even this far, but to go on to the national semifinals, to play how they have. Coach Justice talks about how they're an all-weather team, how they can play in any type of game, any type of situation, close or blowout, in any type of condition. They proved it again today in some bad weather, and just the way that they've done it, and just so much talent that Coach Justice has built over his time and over here at this program has just been amazing. And there's been a lot of buzz around the area for Concord, and it's certainly going to pick up now that they're one of the top 4 teams in the country.
That'll do it. The Mountain Lions are going to the NCAA semifinals. We thank both Bloomsburg University and Concord University for making us a part of this NCAA quarterfinal matchup. The Huskies go down. The Mountain Lions move on 32-26. For my partner, A.J. Good, and the entire Sports Fever Television Network crew, I'm Phil Shaner. Take care from Athens, West Virginia.